my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. Frozen in my dream, I can't escape the thoughts of you. If I try to leave, when I'm with you I can't move. It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you break me, but something about it makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you break me, holding our love in chains of gold.
Welcome on in, folks, to Pocket League's Frostborn Legend, sponsored by Hot Pockets. We're here on the Frost Esports channel, and I am Ice Cold Brew. And joining me is the man in the mirror himself, who was here last night and has returned once again with the raid as well. Mirror Man, you were broadcasting the earlier matches. Anything stand out to you as well? And welcome on in, by the way. Glad to have you.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, man. We are here in top 8 of this $3,000 tournament. Shouts to Frost Esports. Shouts to Hot Pockets. And this is exciting. Both these teams we're going to be going into this first match we're going to have here in top 8. We're going to be getting MV Shirogane, Shiro, and Poro versus Misty C and Moises. So we're going to be seeing Wonder Woman and Shaggy versus Bugs Bunny and Steven Universe. And this is exciting because these teams are all very, very good. Some of the most consistent doubles teams as of recent. In pretty much every tournament they enter, you always see these guys making top 8s. Both these teams have won tournaments. Both these teams always place well, and I'm excited to see how this goes.
I'm fascinated to see how it goes. I was catching some of the action from yesterday, and I believe you actually made mention in the pre-show we are going to be seeing Fozzie and Moa moving on as well in the near future, while we focus in on the match of Shiro and Poro versus Moises and Misty C. So I'm really excited to see how that rolls out as we get ready to join in that very first best of 5.
Mm-hmm. So we're still waiting on losers to catch up a little bit. We do know all of the people who've made top 8 and winners so far. Like I said already, on this side of top 8, we're going to be having Shiro and Poro versus Moises and Misty. On the other side of winners top 8, we're going to have Jungle and FPZ, who are probably the best doubles team in MultiVersus at this moment, versus Fauzi and Moi, who, if you were watching the qualifiers yesterday, they were able to get second place to qualify into this tournament today. So one of the qualifier teams doing very, very well so far. And I believe we are going to be getting into this side of winners semis, going in right now. And we're starting off Trophy's Edge.
Ooh. So just as you said, Steven and Bugs versus Shaggy and Wonder Woman. Shaggy, very common to see it. It's a day 1 user. And honestly, I'm excited to see the use of the bubble shield for Steven. I know he's very protective, and a lot of people play a shield throughout MultiVersus, especially in 2v2. What kind of composition should we see with Bugs Bunny coming up as well? What does that change in the meta for Steven's playstyle?
Bugs Bunny and Steven work very nicely together for 2 main reasons. The first main reason, which is the one that most people would think of, is just their vertical kill power. Steven's really good at popping up people a very large amount of distance. You combine that with Bugs Bunny up air, which is the strongest up air in the game, you can potentially take very, very early stocks for a lot of players off the top. I want to point out another nice little synergy that you have is that Steven is mostly an aerial-based character. He likes to drift in with nairs, surfboards, things like that. Bugs gives him a grounded game via tunnel and safe. Safe means that Steven has things he can do on the ground to launch the safe around, things like that. And tunnel means Steven can actually just pop through the tunnel and just play like kind of like a grounded dash dance game around tunnel exits in order to keep the pressure up in a spot where he normally wouldn't be able to.
Fascinating to see. And currently we've seen some that use of Steven being able to get that up here, trying to lock in Shaggy on that edge. Nice little edge guard as Shaggy gets knocked out, allowing them a chance to dive in on Shiro. Taking a moment as Bugs and Steven both diving in. That's going to give the first stock to Moises and Misty.
Moises and Misty doing a pretty good job in this game so far. They've racking up a lot of damage onto both the players on red, while Moises himself is only at 40% on this first stock. And I think that's kind of going to be a lot of what we're seeing. The way Misty and Moises play is they generally have Misty go forward, try to play the front line, hit these landing nairs, start a combo, try to play basically in people's faces to get something big going, while they have Moises play more of a support, go for follow-up hits, maybe go for a landing nair here or there just to rack up some damage. Like you see him swat away the Shaggy there with the forward air, send him off to the side. And that's probably the pace we're going to be seeing from them for most of the set. On the other hand, on red team, Poro is probably one of the more rage-centric Shaggies, I would say, at the top level of the game right now. He's very good at finding spots, like you see right there. As soon as the game slows down, he's very good at finding spots where he's able to get these charges for free, and he'll be able to throw out a lot of these rage sidekicks, rage uppercuts to secure kills a lot earlier than you'd see otherwise. I think the pacing of this set and who we see win will be determined by how much value Poro is able to find on these rage mode and how well Moises will be able to hold on to his stock for prolonged periods of time.
I'm inclined to agree, and I also really want to shout out Shiro's gameplay during that moment, just being able to allow Poro to have that space. Albeit right now, we're one stock away from Moises and Misty to take advantage. Misty currently burning up at 121, while Shiro's close behind at 107, and they're going to start focusing in on Poro, but I would like to see them isolate Shiro in the moment, trying to break away, and they're going to be able to do so with that up air, able to knock out Shiro in that moment.
So we already saw like a good amount of it so far in this game. Misty is probably the best user of Bugs Bunny Nair in the game right now. He's very good at picking his spots with it and getting big combo openings started. There we saw him create so much pressure from the Nair that Shiro was a little bit afraid to go on ledge, and as soon as he got nervous at the edge and finally jumped away, Misty caught the jump with a rocket and confirmed that into an upper for the kill. Fighting against Bugs right now, the main game plan you need to do is you need to be ready to swat away the Nair. If he's able to find the Nairs on you, you will lose. It's one of the highest damage openings in the game. It is very, very risky to fight straight on. You just need to swat it away. Like there we see him hit the double Nair on the right side. And it's like, I think Wonder Woman and Shaggy both have pretty good tools at dealing with it. Wonder Woman Sair is really good at stuffing it. Wonder Woman Nair is also pretty good. Shaggy Dare, things like that. But if you're just going to get caught on all your jump-ins, like there, once again, they just force Shiro off to the side with these rocket up airs. It can be scary. It can really be scary.
And plus with Moises being able to use that watermelon stew even to buy some time and just set up that zone as well, has to make it really frustrating for Poro and Shiro to try and find some kind of chemistry, some sort of synergy, as they are able to take at least the first stock going into this match. But I feel like the momentum shift for Moises and Misty has been so far on their side for the entire set at this point in time, as they continue to use that Nair, as you said.
I mean, the red team, so far, they were able to take the first stock in this game, but they're at such high percent here, and just like as before, Moises is just not taking any damage ever. So only 50% on the first stock, but I mean, as long as they can't get these kills on Shiro and Poro, they can try to rack up a lot of extra damage here. Poro stalling over on the right side of the stage, neither of them are able to find the edge guard. And while Shiro isn't really making anything happen, he is able to get a little bit of dodge meter back, and then but he just gets too greedy on the Sair, misses the Bugs Bunny, gets through the up air, and then another up air from Misty coming out, takes out both of them. And right now the stock lead is favor blue.
Now taking flight, it's going to be Shiro fighting off against Misty. Nice little up air. Bit of a 1v1 action on the edge. Poro dive down on with Misty coming in to help out. Moises up air on Shiro, up towards the top, trying to isolate, trying to prevent, as it looks like they're going to tie up the game 2-2 once again, but Shiro's in danger as the entire set goes on.
This has been pretty good for Poro and Shiro so far, actually, because if you look at the stock math in this game, I mean, Poro's kind of taking a big combo right now from Moises. It was going good as soon as I say something, because you have to take 2 stocks to win here if you're blue team, and Poro was only 10%, but Moises was able to get a big tech chase, got like a big 80 damage combo onto the Shaggy. Right now it's basically even, but Shaggy does have that rage move on deck. You got to be careful of it. Throws out the down tilt, gets a couple hits, breaks a shield on Steven, but it isn't going to burn through all the bubbles in time. Rose Bomb going to force Shaggy up top. It's a great dodge from Poro, but Shiro loses his life. How is he going to stall here on the edge while in burnout? Wonder Woman comes back with armor. He tries to get a rage move going. He gets the reversal onto Moises. This is a chance for Shiro, but he misses the reverse up tilt off the jab. And the Sair from Steven is actually going to take out the game. Oh, Shiro just missing the kill confirm on Misty.
We'll always find a way.
All right. That is a 2-0 lead right now. Moises and Misty off of the back of that. That's a bit unfortunate. If you're on the side of Shiro and Poro, you almost were able to bring that back, just not quite. But if it means anything, they started that game down by a pretty significant margin. The fact that they were able to bring it back to be pretty close, I mean, it might be indicative of some stuff for game 3. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I'm starting to see a momentum, like the foundations of a momentum shift happening on the red side. Shiro and Poro are finding their moments where they're really trying to dive in on Misty and try to force. One, they need to avoid that Nair, as you've said before, but they're trying to force Misty to be in more awkward situations. And with Moises having to play the edge guard, they can take advantage of that and try to essentially force Misty far off into the side of the map. hopefully we'll see that going into the map 3, but currently match point in favor of Moises and Misty.
What I want to see this game is I want to see Poro get a lot more value out of the rage moves. We've seen him get several rages each game. It feels like he hasn't really found the mark with any of them. There's generally 2 rules of thumb of what you can do with Shaggy Rage. One is just side B because it's a really big, well, side special because it's a really big burst option, covers a lot of the stage, kill power, all that. But that's a move you kind of have to throw out. You're the only confirm into it really being Dare, as we saw there. You also have the option of holding on to the rage, and you can confirm into it off of jab. You do jab, jab, up special with the up special rage. And I would say if he's not able to find the side specials, maybe he should be going for those instead. But they're making it work so far this game. He's going to be able to finish this rage over on the right side. If he gets this onto the Steven, it could lead to a kill, but he's in a potential bad spot here. Overcommits to the charge. Bugs gets the jab up till up air. And Poro's going to lose the first stock in this game 3.
Good chance as we can see Shiro trying to at least lock out Bugs, but Poro able to get the stocks, take out a stock from Moises. Moises now coming back in with that armor. Has a bit of invincibility. It's going to try and prevent Poro from taking that moment to pick up Rage. Shiro getting a little bit low on the dodge meter and near burnout as well. Misty taking advantage to up air on Poro, trying to knock him out, but not able to do so. Both of them taking that weakened state as they're forced to the center of the stage.
Oof. Sure, getting a little bit greedy on the edge guard over on Misty on the right. We've seen a lot of reversals so far in this set, and almost none of them are working in the favor of the red team. They need to make something happen here. This is not damage you can be taking if you're Shiro right now. He has to be the stock tank in this game. He is respawned and taken 100 damage in 10 seconds. It's looking like blue team's in such a good spot to win. Poro finally finds a rage move kill right there, but they have to get through 2 stocks. While both being at 130 by themselves. Poro loses his right there. Shiro manages to avoid the jab from Bugs, but he has to run for his life. Moises is hunting him down. The Nair Spike sends him over to the side. He gets his dodge caught by the Dare, and Moises and Misty take it in a pretty dominating 3-0, honestly.
Really love that down air from Moises. He's just able to catch Shiro out on the edge and takes full advantage of that spacing as well, realizing that Poro can't come in to help out, realizes there's no chance to really recover and take back that space, get onto that wall. And what an impressive 3-0 from Moises and Misty, able to overtake Shiro and Poro. Poro not really, as you called out earlier, wasn't really able to find value in the rage move in the long run. And so that has to be frustrating on their part. But they will be knocked down to lowers at least. So they will have another opportunity to try to work out the kinks and hopefully find their way back up to the top. In the meantime, we're going to have Moises and Misty moving on to the next match as we are waiting for an update on Pocket Leagues in that moment to see who our winners finals are going to be.
So the team that they will be going against is going to be the winner of the other side of winner semis. That is going to be Jungle and FPZ, Fire PZ, versus Fauzi and Moi. Fauzi and Moi doing fantastic in the qualifiers yesterday, playing predominantly Morty Steven, a couple other character swaps here and there. We saw a little bit of Moi's Wonder Woman. We saw a little bit of Fauzi's Gizmo. They have some deep character pools that they could be pulling out here, but predominantly they were playing Morty Steven. Jungle and FPZ, pretty traditionally some of the best players in the game right now. Jungle most likely going to be rocking the Wonder Woman unless he picked up another character I didn't know about for this tournament. And this is going to be the team to beat. Jungle and FPZ, in my opinion, are by far the favorites for this tournament. There are teams in this tournament that can beat them, but they are very, very strong together. I'm curious to see as to whether Fauzi and Moi can bring out something interesting or if they come up with a game plan that can actually beat them.
Well, I mean, one, it's got to be that anticipation as well. I can at least speak to the mentality of these players in that in this sort of platform fighter setup is you have to have this confidence to be able to overtake. Just looking at the seeding currently, Jungle and Fire PZ being number 1, but Fauzi and Moa able to move on from yesterday and qualify at number 2, at least puts a lot of expectations on their shoulders. And just looking over, it looks like we will be moving over to Jungle and Fire PZ versus Fauzi and Moa. And I can't wait to see that that Morty and Steve, I'm so used to saying the show, that Morty and Steven combination that you mentioned. And I was able to catch a little bit of that yesterday coming off of one of the jobs from last night. But in the meantime, as we're getting ready for this, we can have a nice clear view of the bracket. It's going to be Shiro and Poro moving down to lower quarterfinals. They're going to be in top 4 lowers, waiting to see who comes out lower top 8s in order to have another chance to see if they can make their way up to grand finals. Jungle versus Fire PZ coming up next.
While we're waiting here, killing some time for these players to start, I'm going to be talking about the other teams who have qualified and losers. People who've been paying attention to bracket, you might have saw me stream a match with Red Joey and Folzify earlier. Those guys lost their winners round 1 match. They're on a tear. They've won 4 matches straight in losers. They've actually qualified for all the way for top 8. Playing the Tom and Jerry Iron Giant comp. So it's a big run for those guys to secure their spot in top 8. I believe that secures Folzify as the highest placing IG as well. For other teams that have qualified in losers, Greeded and Oog have also been on a nice little bit of a run for themselves, most likely playing Gizmo and Agent Smith. Swerve and Wavy have qualified for top 8 to defeating Gustigate and Minty Hippo. So Swerve and Wavy are in top 8. And the last top 8 qualifier, we're still waiting on to finish, is going to be Mechatex and Mots versus Lust and Camilla. So we always have all of our top 8 secured.
And just waiting on Mechatech and Mots, as you said, as we are waiting for the final to come in. I want to give another shout out to our sponsors of Hot Pockets for making sure that we can stay fueled up and ready to play at all times. Make sure to pick up some Hot Pockets, and a huge shout out to them for allowing us to run a $3,000 tournament as well, a $3,000 prize pool tournament, in order to allow these players to showcase their skills and talent. And again, being able to see MultiVersus become more and more of a spotlight in the esports arena overall. Miraman, what have you've been a MultiVersus player since day one, correct? Like maybe even before day one, beta as far. What, just to talk a little bit more about MultiVersus itself, what has been the most pleasant surprise and change as the meta for the game has shifted into these new comps, especially for 2v2 and team play overall, with tournaments rising up more and more commonly in the esports circle?
I think it's a lot more. I think the MultiVersus 2s for full launch has generally been a lot more exciting than it was in beta in terms of comp diversity. Obviously, the full launch has gone through a lot of metas. Iron Giant at the start was like a very clear menace. There's been other characters that have been predominant, like we've seen a lot of Wonder Woman. As of recent, we see a lot of Steven, things like that. But in beta, you could, if you went into a tournament, you could see like 80% Velma for like the first 4 months of the game. You don't really see things to that extent anymore, so it's nice seeing a lot of other characters brought out. There are still metas here and there. You know, obviously things are going to come and go. But it's nice seeing a lot of characters that didn't have a chance before have a chance to shine to a bigger extent now, such as Black Adam, who in beta was kind of bad, but now he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think I was reading through some of the patch notes. I remember one of the oddities that stuck out to me was that Wonder Woman's hitbox was sized up just a bit too big. But looking at some of the action with Wonder Woman recently, it feels like that hasn't really made a difference in gameplay. It's more just been about mindset and how to best take advantage of space as we're going into the first of the specified between Jungle and Fire and Twitch Mua and Osana, aka Fozzy.
All right. So one big thing you're going to be seeing in this specific matchup right away is Black Adam is a slower tank. He will be setting up the big bubble, as you saw at the start, to try to prevent a lot of the projectiles from Morty, because that bubble destroys projectiles. He can also down tilt across the stage to threaten things against teams that try to zone him. And basically, he's just going to be trying to force people to approach him while doing as much damage as possible and also just being super survivable. Jungle, we're going to be seeing probably play the more offensive role, as we see here. He comes in with the landing there into dash attack onto the Steven, try to get something big going. And right now, it's going pretty back and forth. But the thing is blue team has a lot more weight to them. Going even in damage is not really favorable for the Morty Steven comp.
Yeah, that's fascinating to see, as Morty's going to hit 106 and Jungle's going to be able to get a knockout on Morty. He just nice little side neutral, able to force out. And instead, we're going to have Morty trying to take back that space, coming back in. But looking back at, actually it's 1-1 now. I just realized Jungle got dropped earlier. My apologies on that one. And now it's 2-1 in favor of the blue as Steven comes back in. looks like Fozzie is struggling to overcome the Black Adam tank in the moment as Fire is taking his space.
This is what I was saying. So FBZ, in my opinion, is probably the best backline doubles player in the entire game right now. He is impossible to hunt down. He is very, very strong at just playing the game where he just forces the out of whiff, gets a punish on it, or he just like, there you can see him double side special through you. He just knows what you're going to be doing to try to hunt him down. And he's always good at avoiding specifically what you're trying to do to him and then hitting you for trying. So right now we can see we're 2 minutes into this game. He's still holding on to his first stock. They finally managed to find the first kill at 150. And while Jungle loses his second, and they're technically down a stock here, this is such a good position for the blue team. They just need to get the final blow on both the people on red right now. Nair from Black Adam going to force them both to the side, although Moa is doing a good job at stuffing them back. Moa and Fauzi getting some damage onto Jungle. This 3 stacks of Weaken racking up, putting Wonder Woman at 2% where they can actually maybe bring this game back if they can find the killing blow on her. The dirt into up air, and they do! Jungle just got so aggressive that last stock and he took so much damage and he just got blown up for it.
Oh no. As Red Team able to make an impressive comeback, I really thought that Fire was going to block out and edgeguard Moa that entire final few moments of the round, but seeing Red Team able to come back fairly quickly just because FPZ was playing so aggressive and getting caught in the mix the entire time, that has to be so frustrating for them in that game. So hopefully Jungle and Fire FPZ will be able to regain and regather. I'm going back to what you're saying about Black Adam. I want to see a bit more of that backline defense, just being able to set up and support, trying to allow Jungle to take up more space as Jungle's able to get that edge guard. Can't get Moa knocked down though in that moment. Doesn't even get damage off on Moa.
This is looking like a lot better for the red team this start around. Last time they kind of got blown up by Jungle right at the start. This time they're kind of doing, I mean, they're doing a decent enough job at trading out damage. But it's not, I mean, they're able to, blue team was able to even it up. And right now they're trying to get this pressure going on the right side of the stage. The Black Adam forward air off of the up tilt will be in a spot to kill that Morty. Obviously trying to make something happen, throwing these shields right outside the range of the bubble. So they don't lose the shield, but it's not really going to block Jungle from doing anything aggressive right now. And I mean, they're just keeping the pressure up right now. FPZ only at 50%, trying to force this Morty off stage, rack up a bit of extra damage before Jungle goes down. How much extra credit are they going to find? A special into the Steven shield, into the Black Adam Slayer, both people going down. But right now it's like full stock lead for the blue team, and this is a really good lead to have. Oh man, the up special pressure from Jungle. Just the damage over and over and over again. Running Fauzi completely out of dodges, out of resources. Double Sair, pressure him in the corner. There's nowhere for him to go. No escape, 60% kill. And this is, I mean, it started pretty good for Juan Fauzi this game. But Jungle's just starting to run away with it. He's catching every single dodge off stage. We've seen him catch the dodge there on the left to kill Moa. We saw him catch 2 dodges on the right to kill Fauzi earlier. And just Jungle.
Love can truly save the world.
Jungle able to stand up and basically able to shut down any kind of dodge, just being able to get a smart read on Moa and Fozzie. So going into the next match, it's now tied 1-1. We're basically in a best of 3 territory. What would be the strategy for Rick and Steve, Morty and Steven to bring the focus back onto them to basically try to bring this game back under control? Because Jungle and FPZ took that loss in game 1, but it felt like they brought it back under focus because they had a game plan by the end of that match.
I need to see more teammate support. This is what it's boiling down to. Jungle gets in on one of the 2 players on red team. He does 60. He keeps the combo going. He keeps the pressure up. There's not enough help from the teammate. He's never been swatted away. So like right now we see them both get an opening over here. Jungle's going to keep this pressure up on the left. We finally see Fauzi get like there, right? We see Fauzi get a little bit of help, goes back, swats Jungle away once. That lets Moa get a double Slayer on both of them. And that's what we need to be seeing if we want to see them win this set. We just need to not let them see Jungle run away with things. Right now they're getting a big combo going on to FPZ. It's a lot of damage. Kind of just forcing. See, now they're doing a lot better at grouping up this time around. We have Moa and Fauzi both running over to the left to try to keep this pressure going on FPZ. Nair from Steven going to rack up enough damage to where Black Adam, if he gets caught by anything strong right now, he will go down. They're just going to be out from Morty, trying to get this confirm into an up air. All right, but Jungle on the left trying to get something onto Moi, but FPZ actually still manages to find the first kill despite the damage lead for Red. Nair from Black Adam.
Ooh, Jungle just caught a little bit on that edge, but able to break through. Tries to get Moa on the backswing, trying to get behind, but cannot do so. Instead, up air by Fozzy. It's going to knock out Jungle, and that's going to tie up the stocks 1-1 so far, but big damage on the side of Moa and on FPZ. Both players need to play a little bit more protective, even with that tie. Hopefully FPZ can find some space in the moment, but not going to be able to do so. Moa knocked out of the game. Now it's 2-1.
They did such a good job at racking up damage onto FPZ early in this game. He was the first person in the game to get over 100%, but they just never found the killing blow. A dirt into up air kill from Morty will finally seal it. But FPZ finally gets onto his last stock, and they still have 2 stocks to take here. Wonder Woman's at death percent, but they need to get some damage onto FPZ somehow, some way here. But right now, Juan also needs to be the one to stay alive. He can't be the one throwing away his life for it. And a nice little bit of a rewind. Make sure Steven doesn't lose his life there. Fozzy has a little bit of extra life to play with. And now here's the question. Do you want to go after FPZ? Is he going to be too hard to get? Do you go for Moi instead? Because you only need to take the one. But, oh man, just the Nair sends him off stage. Able to get back to stage with the UFO help right now. They're getting damage onto Jungle once again. Jungle's doing the same thing we saw game 1, where they only are on their last stock. He needs to make sure he stays alive, but he's taking so much extra. The dirt sends him up to the side, but he isn't dead. That's going to be a neutral attack from Wonder Woman, and with the stacks of Weaken from center stage, that's going to be enough.
They dove in on Moa, just finding this opportunity again and again. And Jungle, Wonder Woman just being absolutely pressured the entire time, just really struggling to try and find space. FPZ getting caught up in the mix that entire final moments of Game 3, and yet Jungle able to come in, provide that assist, pushes out Mua all the way to the side, and then finally gets a side charge neutral just to send away. Fantastic work from Jungle and FPZ, able to swing this game back, Mirror.
And that's, I mean, it's kind of surprising to me that I'm surprised Jungle did the same thing he did game 1, where they were super up, they were in a really good position to win, and then he kind of just jumps in and takes 100 damage. It's something you got to be careful of. I'm thinking that if they continue to make that mistake, they didn't lose that game for it, thankfully. But it's really just a bad spot to be putting yourself in. What I also need to see from the side of Moi and Fauzi is I need to see them actually get the final blow on FPZ. FPZ lived at 140% for over 30 seconds that game. You need to be able to find that hit somehow, some way. Low resources on the side of the Steven right now. Rewind's forced off the bat in the first 20 seconds of the game. Oh man, this is not a great start for the red team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a lot of cooldown on Moa's side as feels bad, but Fozzy already up at 112 currently, breaking through even further. FPZ able to find some space now. It's on the edge. It's going to dodge, tries to push Moa out, has a chance, gets the kill. That's going to be another knockout in their favor. Blue team taking the momentum here as Fozzy's trying to fight for his life right now, trying to slow down that push from Jungle and FPZ.
It's not really working in their favor at the moment. Fauzi is going to lose his life. Moi is stuck in burnout at the edge right now. He's able to make it back to center stage, and he tries to use the grenades to protect himself a bit, but a well-placed lightning grab from FPZ is going to keep himself safe. But right now, it's just how much extra credit can the blue team find? They're both still on their first stocks. They are racking up tons of damage on the Steven, tons of damage on the Morty. All the shields from Steven are gone. It's just hit after hit after hit after hit. They cannot find these kills onto the blue team. Dash attack from Black Adam going to force them both off to the right. The full charge down tilt from Wonder Woman. She's blocked enough projectiles for the meter to be full. I mean, they do manage to find both the kills, but Juan's at death percent right now, and both the people at blue are still at 0.
Yeah, it feels like blue kind of has this mind game going through, just able to lock down and prevent red from being able to find any kind of forward momentum. There's this bit of disjunction on the side of red, and it's providing Moa, and it's forcing Moa and Fozzy to try to edge guard a little bit more. Fozzy trying to take down Jungle, but Jungle's just playing around the entire time. Moa tries to get back on the edge. Jungle's just 2v1 in the moment, trying to lock them down on that side, giving FPZ plenty of time and space to recharge and try to take chances, but getting closer and closer to getting at least one more knockback in favor of Red. I don't know if they're going to be able to break through, as Moa has to step back, using the ship to come back up onto landing, but that's not going to be enough as Jungle and FPZ get the final knockout.
And even though Moa and Fauzi were able to get on the board there with one, I'm gonna be honest with you, that felt like a very convincing 3-1. The first game that they were able to take almost felt like the only reason they got it is because Jungle made an absolutely horrible mistake on the final stock, and every other game from then on was just so clean for Jungle and FPZ. They were just able to live so much longer, find the kills so much earlier. It feels like they got more off of every opening damage-wise. They were just playing very well.
Yeah, it was an incredible play, especially after that first game. I feel like they took that advice to heart, because FPZ's damage output started to increase and he was able to provide more support, allowing Jungle a lot more motion on the field as well, able to get in the way of Moa and essentially edge them out, forcing them out to the sides, and then allowing knockout opportunities from FPZ as well as Jungle. So going into that, though, FPZ and Jungle will be moving on to the matchup against Moises and Misty coming up next. And that's going to be our winners final as well, going for another best of 5. Between these two teams, who do you think has the best chance of taking out their opportunity, while we have the Moises and Moa moving down to lower finals and getting ready to see who they will be facing off against in the lower top 8?
So between Jungle, FPZ, and Moises and Misty, it's interesting, because I think Bugs can do a lot more stuff into the Black Adam Wonder Woman composition than a character like Morty might be able to, because Morty, like, while being very strong, he's going to struggle against things like the Black Adam shield or the Wonder Woman armor and a lot of interactions. I don't really think Bugs is going to have that same issue. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Misty just trying to barrel in. Wait 1 second. Are we getting this winners finals next? I got an invite from someone else. We're doing lowers? Okay, cool.
We're
doing the greeted set first? All right, cool. I believe. And that'll be who's inviting me? I got like 3 invites.
Yeah. All good.
We're doing the greeted set? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So that'll be greeted versus Red Joey and Falsify. Okay, cool. So this set is going to be Tom and Jerry Iron Giant versus Gizmo Agent Smith. Is going to be the set going on here with these guys. Right. And I'm interested to see how this goes. Red Joey and Falsify, like I said, these guys have been on the biggest losers run of the tournament so far. They lost their first match in winners, and they have won 4 matches straight in losers to secure their spot in top 8, making a fantastic run for themselves, despite being not the highest seeded team in the tournament. Greeted and Oog, Greeted has been predominantly one of the best players in the game so far. Very notable results in both formats. Oog had a couple really notable results early on, then stopped entering a lot of things, but he's always been around, lurking, doing good things in the back. And it's interesting to note that he's one of the only Agent Smiths in the bracket, and he's doing very well for himself here.
Yeah, just looking through the records so far, especially being able to come up from lowers and trying to find that space, it has to be a really interesting combination with Gizmo. I was about to say the other character as well, but Agent Smith being a smart choice overall. I'm really excited to see how the spacing for Agent Smith will work out in the long run, as we start off Tom and Jerry and Iron Giant versus Agent Smith and Gizmo.
So I want to make a quick note of it before anything major happens. Agent Smith's gun is a very, very good tool versus Iron Giant. It is just disjointed enough to outspace most of Iron Giant's main tools that he wants to throw out in neutral. It can make it really hard for Iron Giant to play the game that he wants to play. Right there, we see Agent Smith find a jab into a down tilt, into a gunshot on the IG. We already are seeing the first rage mode of the set, 30 seconds in, because Reed and Oog are up so much damage already in this game. Tries to come back with a little bit of a gunshot to protect himself, but Gizmo with the umbrella able to find the mark instead. They are both caught in the bubble, but both the people on blue are so far away that they're not going to be able to really find any sort of big punish for it. And right now, this game is looking like it's going in Red's favor.
Yeah, Red working especially hard, even with that Iron Giant Rage, just able to break apart and slow it down. Now it looks like Red's going to take the first stock away from Iron Giant, and followed up quickly with Ooge just getting knocked out immediately afterward. Now it's going to be back tied 1-1, but still Red very much in favor. Iron Giant able to isolate out Greeted and trying to find that space, but going to be Red Joey getting the second knockout, taking out Gizmo. Still fighting out on the edge, and another knockout. And this time one away for Red Team. 2 knockouts simultaneously nearly.
So one thing going into this match, one thing I'll be saying is Agent Smith and Gizmo are going to be doing a lot of damage to Iron Giant. You have the Gizmo projectiles that always do a lot of damage. Smith goes really hard on Iron Giant on the hit. I think what's really going to be important in these sets is Red Joey making sure he basically needs to give his teammate an extra stock to play with every game, because Iron Giant's going to get beat up. It's just something that's basically going to happen. Right now we're seeing him do a pretty good job at that. He took a lot of damage to start off his first stock, but the second stock, while he wasn't really taking damage, it doesn't feel like he was really helping his teammate that much either. Oog and Greeted just staying on Falsified for basically the entirety of duration of that, keeping the damage racking up, eventually getting him to a kill percent, and there was just no interrupt from Red Joey that entire time.
Yeah, Red Joey not really able to make their appearance known. I really do love that call out as well. Just Oog being able to get in the face of Falsify, forcing that momentum shift, and Iron Giant, while having that rage mode, needs to tank more damage and needs to essentially set up for these bigger hits, trying to find more space, and he cannot do so because of the way Joey's getting iced out fairly immediately. And again with Ooge just able to shut down and disrupt so much of that forward momentum from Falsify.
Starting off this game, once again, we see Oog run at Falsify. Falsify already had to burn himself out of dodge meter. He finally gets it back one time off stage, but this one time he goes for the dodge. Oog reads it. He catches him with the up special. That's the first stock for Iron Giant gone in 20 seconds of the game, and neither player on red is even really that hurt right now. On the left side of the stage, there's a bit of an interaction going on with these dares in the corner. Falsify still at 60 right now. They keep forcing out so many dodges. Iron Giant's been stuck in burnout this entire time, with Oog just staying on him, and I really just need to see Red Joey try to help his Iron Giant out a little more. He's trying to play his life. He's just hoping Falsify could get some damage back in return, but it is really not working in their favor at the moment. A double up air from Agent Smith, going to force him off stage into the arrow from Gizmo, trying to make something happen to these missiles to protect himself off stage in the rage mode. And he does make it back to the stage, but I mean, one strong hit will just lead to the end of his stock right now. He's at 180%. Manages to find the shoulder bash onto Agent Smith before going down, but I mean, it's just a bad spot to be in. The double gun shot on the right side. Oog just staying on Falsify right now. Red Joey, at this point, your Iron Giant's going to be the last stock anyway. You don't really have to play your life that safe. You can kind of just try to make something happen. You need to get this kill on Gizmo, or this game is basically going to become unwinnable for you. Greed is doing a great job staying alive, avoids the neutral attack, throws out the car, the explosive car catches the mark on the Tom. Well, Red Joey finally manages to find a kill there with a Versus Air onto Gizmo. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's just, you have to make something happen here, and I don't know how they're planning on getting back into this. Oh my god. Oh, he was so close. He actually got the Nair into Sarah onto Gizmo, the full charge Nair multi-hit move. Gets the kill onto Greeted at 0, but he goes down so deep with it that he ends up taking his own life. He doesn't take both with him, only the one. And despite him almost bringing the game back with the interaction, he isn't able to do it. It's a 2-0 lead for Greeted and Noog.
Bit of a momentum shift as well, just able to find that space and getting so close to practically a frame perfect ending in order to bring that focus back in. I feel like Red Joey just hasn't been able to make much of a standout performance, while Falsify, in the meantime, is just getting beat up left and right. Greeted and Oog have fantastic synergy going through this entire matchup, able to lock down and prevent that forward momentum as we go into Game 3, match point for Greeted and Oog.
Alright, it's looking a little bit better at the start of this game than some of the previous. They've actually gotten some damage on the Greeted and Oog to start this one off. But they keep getting put into these offstage situations. This sledge trap is such a menace to deal with. They do manage to make it through the Nair forward tilt from Falsify. But I mean, he does have the rage mode as well. He's going to have a bubble to catch mid-stage. He's going to be throwing out these missiles up high to catch jumps. It's going to keep the pressure onto the red team here off stage. Red Joey tried to make something happen with the dynamite, but he doesn't find anything. The double bubble is potentially massive. Neutral attack off of it. Does get the double kill. Falsify off of the rage mode, manages to make something happen. Takes the lead for the first time this whole set.
Most effective use of the rage mode as well, just right at the end in order to make that break, get that double takedown. But they're both still in the danger zone, both Red Joey and Falsify, trying to play the edge as well as they can, but they're getting closer and closer to burnout, especially Falsify. That's going to be Red Joey getting knocked out as he comes back, then follow up with Falsify falling through, not able to really fortify in that moment. It's going to go back to the red team, back to a tie game, but Falsify has a bit of an idea going through it. Hopefully he can get that rage mode coming up again.
Right, getting good damage onto Greeted. That's the one that's harder to lock down. It's a good opening from Falsify, although he is stuck off stage in burnout. It doesn't really matter because neither person on red team's in a spot to take advantage of it. As long as Red Joey plays his life here, Falsify has so much to work with. These up specials are great. Give him that projectile immunity to the arrows. He gets a grab, turns it around, hits him into the neutral attack. Greeted loses his stock now. Luke has to stay alive at 130. And he has to dodge all these missiles coming out from Falsify. It's the stomp onto the gizmo, racking up the bubbles, racking up the damage. I mean, it's just so good for Falsify right now. He's not even really going for Oog. Oog eventually gets caught by a tennis ball, and then we'll take the stock. But, I mean, he just decided to go for Greeted there, and it was just doing so well for him. I think that's really the big difference maker in that game, is Falsify was actually just winning neutral against Greeted. He was making things happen. He was getting the forward tilt he needed. He got a grab off, confirmed it into a kill.
Absolutely. No, Greeted just poor timing on those neutrals, and Falsify able to find that perfect moment just to take over. And kind of makes me curious. They're going to try and go for a reverse sweep here with that momentum shift. What should Greeted and Oog do differently going into this game 4 in order to close out the series in their favor?
I think it really boils down to not letting Falsify get so much value out of those rage modes. That first rage mode he got 50 damage and missiles. He got the double bubble into a double kill. It was so much value that really you just can't be letting happen to you if you're fighting against IG. That's his bread and butter. If he gets that value on rage mode, you're going to lose the game. And I mean, they're doing slightly better at it here. We are going to see a rage mode coming out from IG, and the question is, how well are they going to avoid it? He's going to get stomped at the edge from the side of Oog. He has to avoid the sit, and he isn't able to do it. Just the value from rage mode that Falsify is getting every single time is keeping them back in the set. He hits him with the bubble into the down tilt. Oog respawned into 50 damage right now. Gets caught by the landing there from IG. This is going to force him off stage again into another sit. Falsify with the double. Gets to go for some triple. He sat on him 3 times! And Oog just goes down!
Oog just was not ready for what was coming to him, and it was there in that moment. Now Falsify, Oog getting a little bit of vengeance on Falsify, but the damage has been done. Falsify is finding this momentum shift, and I think it's shattering the mindset and this chemistry we've seen between Greeted and Oog, as they are once again on the very edge. Greeted trying to break back, but they're close to burnout at the moment, while Falsify and Red Joey have plenty of space to work. Trying once again, Oog coming in close, just trying to break them down, but Red Joey's not going to let them go in easily.
The problem is this is such a substantial lead for blue team. The one you want to be like the stock tank here is Greeted, but the one who is the stock tank is Oog in this situation. We've already seen him die twice in this game. Greeted already loses his first. Oog is taking so much damage. Is still set on fire all the way up to 70. I mean, it's going to be a question. Can Greeted rack up enough damage on the IG for them to kill him before they manage to find the final hit onto Oog? And I mean, they're doing a good job so far. Held him in place long enough for IG to beat 100. He does not have rage mode yet, although he will soon if they do any damage to the Tom and Jerry. But it doesn't even matter. Red Joey just forcing Oog off to the top, catches his dodge to the left with the fishing rod. And I mean, Falsify and Red Joey on the cusp of a reverse 3-0, just off of the back of the 2 early kills on Oog.
Incredible play as well. Just, I really love seeing Red Joey coming in and just finding those moments. And while we were watching Falsify, just Joey with that fishing line able to remove Greeted so quickly. And now going into game 5, it's anyone's match. I imagine they're going to try and focus on Red Joey going into this and hopefully be able to neutralize that rage mode from Falsify, but that momentum has gone back in the blue team's favor, and it's going to be more and more difficult for Greeted and Oog to seal the deal on this one.
It's just the rage mode, man. It's so much momentum for blue team. And the thing is, it's so hard to go for Tom and Jerry at the start, because if you decide to go for Tom and Jerry at the start, you're building IG extra rage. He gets that extra rage whenever you're damaging his teammate instead of him. And because of that, I mean, and they're doing good damage so far. They've not really gotten hit at all on the side of red team. IG is finally going to force them over to the side, but they've done so much damage in return. Problem is he's around 3/4 of the way to a rage mode right now. Are they able to find the blow before he gets it fully charged? Force him off stage with the gunshot. This is a potential advantage sequence for Ugin Greeted. You just can't let Fulzify land right now. He does have it right there, but you're doing a great job at interrupting it. It's the uppers from Gizmo, and they actually kill Red Joey. And they kill Iron Giant before they get any value out of the rage. This is a huge lead for Greeted Noob.
Oog was able to just lock down Iron Giant, just force him up in the air, and Rage Mode just not able to be effective in that moment now, causing some frustration on Fulzify and Red Joey. They have to catch up in this moment, but I don't think Greeded's going to give them that chance, as Oog is going to dive in once again on Fulzify. Able to bring around Fulzify.
Joey does find the double fishing rod. I mean, they are behind, but as long as Joey doesn't take too much damage here and you give Fulzify another stock to play with, this can go fine. The problem is I don't think Fulzify is going to get another rage mode off here. He's not close enough to have it. Gizmo Upper's going to kill him, and they're going to basically have to take this without rage right now. Jab from Tom and Jerry racking up a little bit of damage onto the Smith, forced out the bolts from Fulzify. No more bursts left remaining. They're going to be doing a lot of damage to Oog, but Greeted is the one that's going to be harder to kill. They're locking him down. The damage is starting to rack up on everyone right now. Greeted should not be really playing aggressive here. He's taking too much. I mean, it's not unwinnable. Car's gonna not hit the mark. Fulzify's in a bad spot on the right side of the stage, though. He is in burnout. Tries to protect himself with the side special, with a gun from Smith. Forced him off to the right side, and Greeted on the left gets the edge guard onto Joey. Noob and Greeted, they stop the reverse 3-0. They stem the bleeding. They don't let rage mode happen. In game 5, they do close it out.
And what a comeback, as well as Greeted and Oog dropped games and had their advantage. They were able to focus up, and they were trying to lock them in, but suddenly Joey and Fulzify able to tie it up, bring it to a 2-2 set. And I think what was most impressive about that was the way Greeted, while taking that high risk for the additional damage, was still able to break apart. But we saw some very impressive plays coming out from Red Joey, especially able to get that double fishing rod, seeing well-timed use of the rage mode, but it got neutralized in game 5 going into this.
Mm-hmm. It was a good set for him. Managed to stem the bleeding. I believe up next we're probably going to be getting the other side of losers top 8, which is going to be Swerve and Wavy versus Lust and Camilla. Swerve and Wavy, a more household name team, I would say. A really notable team throughout most of the beta. Have always had good results, even full launch of the game as well in doubles. Lust and Camilla, also a very solid team throughout most of the launch so far. This one might be a bit of a toss-up. Swerve and Wavy have been like a bit more... They're very good, but they've had some bad results here or there in doubles throughout full launch of the game. Lust and Camilla all have they've been kind of the same. I think this will be a pretty even match. I'm curious to see as to how this one is going to go. But they both seem to be doing pretty well as of today. Both defeating strong teams to get here. Swerve and Wavy defeating Gusta and Minty, the LeBron Ringdog team, in order to secure their spot in top 8. Lust and Camilla defeating Mechatex and Mott's. Mechatex being the only Samurai Jack, I believe, in bracket to make their way into top 8. So they've both been doing well, beating really strong teams in order to secure their spot.
So with both their characters being chosen, what do you think is going to be the game plan going into this for Lust and Camilla, considering they're going up against Swerve and Wavy? How do you think they're going to adapt to the options that they're giving them? And as they're both getting ready to come into lower top 8s, hopefully to face off against Shiro and Poro.
I'm curious to see as to how this is going to go. So Camilla, it is going to be important to note, we have a Velma in top 8. Velma, obviously, of Beta Menace, hasn't really appeared too often in a lot of the tournaments for the full launch. But the recent buffs they gave her make her a lot more usable of a character. She has some pretty good combos off of Jab now. She hits you with Jab into Book. Just in general, she feels a bit more impressive to play around. And she's still got a Well, she still got like some weaknesses to getting rushed down and things. She was a lot stronger in terms of the zoning game. So this is people were talking about this comp because this is a comp that no one else in the tournament is running. Velma Rick. Velma Rick is something people don't see often.
Yeah, because Rick's also a zoner as well, correct?
Yes. So Rick is like a combo zoner where he has like the big stuff he can do off of jab if he hits you with like jab into missile into teleport dare things like that. But what's really notable about a comp like this is that Rick's portal on top of Velma's book. So Rick portal allows you to throw your ally projectiles through it, which can make things like Velma's bubbles, which home in on you, really annoying because they'll teleport to the other side of you, then home on you from behind you, things like that. She can mix up what she does with them. It's like a lot of crazy things she can do off that. Velma book as well, reducing Rick cooldowns. You throw it at your teammates is also just going to be a lot of value provided. Just it's very bullet helly. Let's just put it that way. It's gonna be a lot of zoning to deal with. You have the infinite Rick lasers already. You can just be throwing out. Neither Shaggy nor Wonder Woman are short enough to low profile Rick lasers. There's a lot of characters who can. Those characters can't. I mean, Wonder Woman might be able to. She's crouched, but I don't think she can. I could be corrected on that. But generally, we're going to be seeing a lot of swerve on the Wonder Woman having to play a lot of projectile destruction with side special. We're going to be seeing probably a lot of rage charging with Shaggy because, I mean, he probably isn't going to want to deal with running at the projectiles head on, so he'll use the space the projectiles give him to charge rage, approach with that kind of thing instead. Make the Rick run at him, that way the Rick can't zone. And on the side of Velma and Rick, we're going to be seeing them be a little bit scared of Wonder Woman armor. They don't really have a lot of good things to deal with the armor. Not a lot of good armor break between them. We're going to be seeing a lot of projectiles whenever they have the chance to set up, but they're also have to be scared of Wonder Woman's side special destroying them, and like I said, the Shaggy Rage. I think that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of, is Rick trying to play annoyingly disruptive to try to prevent Wavy from getting the charges off. And I think we're going to be seeing Velma. She's going to be probably playing her standard game, sitting back, throwing off the bubbles off cooldown, support with the lasers to try to just stuff out any approaches from Wonder Woman, things like that.
I was going to say, to me, it feels like the main factor to keep an eye on is going to be Swerve, because depending on how effective Wonder Woman is, that could push the entire game in favor of Blue. But right now, I'm starting to see why this very unique comp is in favor. Lust and Camilla able to provide each other so much support, and especially Rick able to be that in between and set up those mix-ups is going to be a very strong presence as we go into game one of this best of five, still in that best of five series.
I'm making a prediction here. I believe Rick has crashed. Mr. Crusher stuff. I do not think he is in the game right now.
I also think that it's happened before. Like, I was also wondering if that just happened right in front of my eyes with another crash. In fact, it's going to be an entire network crash. And looks like we're going to come right back into our faces. So going into that, once again, I want to give a huge shout out to Hot Pockets, and honestly, just really fun to see MultiVersus popping up as one of the new favorites in the arena. But with that going on, actually, just to double check with you, Mirror Man, were there any other standout matches that you saw in the very beginning of the stream today?
In the very beginning of the stream, there was a couple pretty early on. Psyche, notably one of the best MultiVersus players right now. He wins basically everyone's tournament that he entered. He tried to enter today on Garnet, didn't do too hot. I was able to watch a set between him and Red Joey and Falsify earlier. It was a really close game too, arguably the closest set of the day. Both players were at 160% last stock for around a minute straight, but they weren't able to close a game out. That was a pretty fun set to watch early on. Other notable things this tournament, we've seen the return of some players that people haven't seen in a while. Legendary Pred and K7, some traditional fighting game extraordinaires were in this tournament today. For the fun of it, Sandstorm and Cosmos, Brawlhalla extraordinaire and big ol' Smash player Cosmos were also in the tournament today. They didn't do too hot either, but that's to be expected when they haven't really played the game in a while. But it was cool to see them show up, have some fun playing the game for the first time in a while, you know?
Yeah, it's always fun to see people who cross into other games, see what kind of skills translate over, especially with those who play in Brawlhalla, Smash, and the newer and up and coming platform fighters. Then along with that as well, we also have we had a fantastic set previously as of last night, and we're going to be able to see a little bit more action coming into this. Going back to Swerve Wavy versus Lust and Camilla, though, with that crash, do you think Lust and Camilla will be able to essentially set up and try to close that distance, or do you think they might get caught up in that mix with Velma and Rick?
I think there are kind of three main characters in the game that I would say have like built-in good like anti-zoning tools. And I think of those three characters, Shaggy and Wonder Woman are two of the three. I think Shaggy, Wonder Woman, Steven all have like really good stuff at dealing with double zoner comps. Wonder Woman having the shield for projectile destruction on top of armor. Shaggy having the ability to force zoners to approach him with rage. Steven with projectile reversal. So Wavy and Swerve undoubtedly have the tools in this matchup to get through the Velma Rick barrage. The thing is, it's hard, especially when the players playing Velma and Rick are both very strong at those characters. Like Liz and Camilla are both some of the best representatives of their respective mains, especially in doubles. And I mean, they know, right? It's not like they don't know. Oh, Wonder Woman can side via projectiles. They know that's something that can happen. Camilla is probably by far the best Velma right now. And I mean, I'm curious. I think what's going to be more interesting is seeing how they deal with the zone breaking rather than the zoning itself. Because at the end of the day, all it takes is Wavy to run off stage and charge, and suddenly the zoning doesn't work anymore. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It'll be tough to see the timing on that as well as we now get into game one.
We're good.
Ooh, I got scared for a second. My screen froze. I was like, okay, we might have to just cut to a break, but no, we're back into it. And it looks like Rick is going to be setting up. Ooh, able to get Velma a little bit bigger as well with that Ray. Able to knock out, but Wavy coming in behind. Down smash, using that dare. Trying to block in, but not able to really find that moment.
Something's happening with this game right now, unfortunately. Because we're not able to really connect to the game.
And just a double knockout from Wavy, as it looks like Camilla might be having another crash once again.
The teabag too.
Well, sometimes that's the name of the game, especially with the online servers. I think in this moment, Mirror Man, we're going to go ahead and just cut to a break in the interim and see if we can get that fixed. And hopefully by the time we are back, people's connections will stabilize and we'll be ready to go. So, folks, in the meantime, get up, go grab a snack, grab yourself a Hot Pocket, get yourself something to drink to wash that down with, and we will be back with more Pocket Leagues in just a few moments.
do need you. I love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you, I do, I love you, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. Ooh, I love you, I do need you.
Folks, welcome on back. We are here with the Pocket League Frostborn Legends for $3,000, sponsored by Hot Pockets. Thank you once again to Hot Pockets for letting Frost Esports take care of this. And I'm once again Ice Cold Brew, joined by Mirrorman. Mirrorman, we are actually going to switch our focus over to the lower quarters. We're actually going to be going to Fozzie and Mua against Greeted and Oog, the legend, as well, coming back in for another lower finals. And it's going to be interesting to see. Do you know if these two pairs have faced off against each other before, or even maybe played with each other at any point in time?
I don't think any of these players have teamed together. Greeted and Moi, there's some history there I'm not going to get into on stream, I believe, in terms of player rivalries. And I'm excited to see how this one goes. All these players are very strong. I'm so excited Oogie's made it this far. Smith does not have that much high level tournament representation, especially in doubles. He had a couple things early on with singles, but in doubles he doesn't really ever perform like this. And I'm excited to see how far Oog and Greedy can keep this losers run side of their run going throughout the rest of the bracket. Moa and Fauzi, though, are going to be very, very difficult to beat. Steven, I believe, has very good aerial options to approach into both Smith and Gizmo. And Morty is just generally disruptive enough on the ground to where Smith doesn't really get to play the ground jab game that he likes to play a lot of the time. So I'm curious to see what sort of adaptation we're going to be seeing from the red team here in order to make something happen.
Now we're going to go ahead and get ready for the first set. And going back to what you're saying about Morty having just more air options as well, I've seen Morty versus Gizmo and even be paired off with Gizmo before. And honestly, it feels like Morty stands out above, just able to prevent a lot of the utility from Gizmo being utilized. And with Agent Smith on the field, it's going to be... I imagine that we're going to just see Fozzie and Moa come in with a 3-0 sweep. If not, it's going to be 3-1 in my opinion. I still feel like Fozzie and Moa might be my personal favorites in the entire tournament bracket as we are starting off in this game one.
They're definitely the team to beat, and Agent Smith is definitely the character to watch to see if he can actually successfully make something happen here. Right now, we're not seeing that good of a start for the team in red. Greeted and Oog already both taking 60% of damage just to start off the game. We have a bit of an opening from Oog, forcing them both off to the side, hits him with the throw, and the explosive card from Gizmo as well. Just the damage onto Steven. Just the snake shot off the top, though. I was going to say they evened up the percentage quite a bit, but that's a very early kill onto the Gizmo here. And very good first blood for the blue team.
And now Steven and Morty just sitting on top of each other, able to try to provide some kind of opportunity. Oog is actually in the danger zone at the moment and is in burnout as well. Doesn't have a lot of dodge left, but it's still able to get a push on Moa, Fozzie, trying to push him out onto the pitch, but onto the edge. And unfortunately not able to break through. Agent Smith with the up air, able to knock out Fozzie. Brings it 2-1 in favor of Oog and Greeted.
I'm seeing something a little bit interesting right now. Greeted and Oog making good use of the Gizmo dodge notes. For those not in the know, whenever Gizmo's teammate picks up the music notes, it makes their dodge a hitbox. Really good on grounded characters who like to have a jab as an opening because it means you can combo your dodge into a jab, which lets you have a lot more versatile ways of approaching in neutral, especially against like a double zoner comp like this where you kind of are forced to dodge into them regardless. So having the ability to make your dodge actually hit them is really, really important. And I mean, Oog and Greeted started this game off. They were so far behind taking the first 200 damage, but they've actually built a bit of a lead for themselves. One really strong hit away from getting the kill on either player on blue. One more up tilt on Smith will probably kill both the players here. Or even as like a Sayer near the edge. She has a lot of options. Gizmo hits the umbrella, but Steven saves himself with the shield on the right side of the stage. That's the first kill right now. Now Moi playing for his life on the edge. Able to make it back with the help of the Steven shield, but he's at 170%. on the right side of the stage in Burnout, they're actually deciding to beat up the Gizmo, the Steven instead. Not really wanting to try to hunt down the Morty right now, even though he's at 180. Greeted trying to read a jump, and then the up air from the Gizmo finally catches the dodge in from Wa, and they do manage to catch him over in the corner to take game 1 with a huge comeback. They were actually so far down.
Yeah, Oog especially able to really focus in and just take advantage of the field. Able to basically prevent Moa from having a lot of utility, being able to control the field. And Osana, I mean, again, Fozzie, just trying to utilize the shield, utilize those dodge nodes. It ended up causing more issues in the long run for the blue squad. Graded and Oog, really interesting comp, and just nice strategy focusing in on Steven, trying to prevent any kind of movement. Steven, even with the shield, not able to bring out any opportunities.
It feels weird to me that the adaptation that seems to be been made mid-game was actually just have our Gizmo go more aggressive. He was playing back at the start and it wasn't really working, and now he's just kind of running forward, not trying to let Steven and Morty set up a lot, just throwing out these like approaching up airs like we see right there, trade out the damage with the Steven, and now, I mean, this chase from Oog, the up tilt up air catches the dodge with the gunshot upwards. I mean, this is the first stock in wall. They're actually going so insane with the aggro Gizmo.
Aggro Gizmo really helping at the moment as we see another knockout. It looks like it's going to be Gizmo actually getting a little bit too aggro on that play, but still able to come in. We're going to see a chance for Oog to try to take down Morty, not able to do so on the edge. Edge guard from Fozzie not able to work out. And again, once again, we see Fozzie on the edge. It's going to get a deflection on Oog, who is down near Burnout. Fozzie as well on Burnout currently. Still trying to break through, able to take out Agent Smith, and brings this game back on the side of blue.
Oof, not a great start to this stock from Oog. He runs in, he presses an attack a little too early, he gets caught by a full charge Steven there, forces a ground bounce, already 80% when this stock started just a few seconds ago. And I mean, well, they have a lot of damage on the people on blue. They need to find one of these kills right now if they want to have a chance in this game. They do manage to find it onto Steven. Now they got to rack up more on him. The question is how are they going to do that? Greeted loses his second stock of the game. It's like a 70% or so advantage for blue team right now. Oogs kind of has to just play slow. You just have to let your Greeted win the 1v1 against the Steven. The question is, can he do it? Hits him with the forward air, catches the dodge in with an up air, but he's taking a lot of damage from the Morty in exchange. Dirt up air confirmed, missed from Wa. Oog has a little bit of extra life right now when he should have been dead. But now they have to beat up this Steven now. They throw him up with the up tilt, but this card misses. And that, I mean, I feel like that card needed to hit. That was your win condition right now. And they still have a chance. It's not over right now. Getting some damage onto both of them, forced them up. Steven is in Burnout, 100% on him. Rose Bomb sends Greeted over to the right. Oh, but they're both at such high percent right now. Steven gets caught by a jab, but he's going to lose his stock. Question is, how good can the Steven run away? He gets caught by the clone, but the attack follow-up misses. Steven hits he hits the gunshot, but he has the multi-gun. He doesn't have the single shot gunshot perk. And he's going to lose because of it. The second shot of the gun misses. And that's the strong one. Oh, they almost choked it. But it's just the gunshot dropping. That's what happens when you don't run the hand cannon perk. You don't get that strong single hit. You have a multi-hit. And if you're only hitting the edge of it like that, a multi-hit like that can drop.
I was wondering about the multi-shot because I saw it up on the top too. And I can imagine that maybe Oog will, if they have another opportunity, might look to see if they can get a bit more powerful of a shot. But still able to push that game so far, especially with that up tilt again in the very beginning, able to take that momentum forward. But what a recovery from both Fozzie and Mua, able to control as double not.
My prediction here is they're trying to go sky flat is the next stage. They set the game up as random between trophies and sky flat, and if you do that, it'll alternate between stages. If they run off like that, it means they probably want to go sky flat as their counter pick. So they're probably just trying to cycle back to it, yeah.
Okay. Now I understand. I got really confused for a second. I was like, are they just forfeiting?
Yeah, they're just cycling the stages without going back to the menu.
Understandable.
No, that does not count. I would love if it did, but it doesn't.
For folks wondering, we are talking to our voice of God, Nick NCS, who is our producer, taking care of the entire broadcast. Once again, thank you, Nick, for taking care of us. And another shout out to our sponsors, Hot Pockets, who are keeping us hot and ready with all the action going into Game 3 currently. It's tied 1-1 with Mua and Fozzie able to get that comeback, and now we're going into Game 3, hoping to see Greeted and Oog with the bounce back trying to lock down Fozzy.
It's interesting how much, I mean, they're taking so much damage off the start of this game. Double up air from Moi coming out, putting so much burn damage onto Oog. Fauzi also just winning his 1v1 versus Greeted. And now the question is are they going to be able to chase these all the way to a kill? Fauzi reads a jump in the top last zone, but Smith's got a little bit of weight to him, so he isn't dead off of that. Right now, blue team is just, I mean, they're just maintaining the percent lead right now. Oog forced to come in with something aggressive. Spite special to make a little bit of space. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job at it, but they're both at so close to death percent right here. The Steven Sarah is going to be able to catch him. Nair forces off Gizmo to the side as well. He gets a little bit too greedy and actually puts himself in burnout. Morty has the rewind out, so he isn't going to lose his stock for that.
Yeah, at least with that magnet able to come back in towards Mua, it's going to provide the chance for them to take it back. But Oog, now with that forward momentum, is going to try and take that fight to him. Instead, we'll see Mua getting dropped on the edge as Greeted is covering behind Agent Smith. Oog trying to take down Steven. Well, Greeted will get caught with the up air and be knocked out. It's going to be 2-2 in the stocks.
Basically even game so far. Oog and Fauzi both at the higher percent here. Fauzi does lose his life. Now the question is who are they going to alternate for? You can't play too far back here if you're Moa, because that just means your Steven will get 2v1'd. Dude, the spacing from Oog. He's just standing there waiting for Steven to whiff that Nair. Alright, they do manage to find the kill on him right now, but are they going to be able to beat up this Gizmo before the Smith comes back? And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Oh, but off the shield, these dares from Fauzi, they're racking up a lot of damage. 100 damage on Greeted, but 100 damage on the Steven as well. The question is who will go down first? You can't kill Gizmo while he's backpacked onto his teammate, but they do manage to break it. Everyone getting close to kill percent right now. Down air coming out from Smith, racking up a lot of damage, but the watermelon Steven on the right side of the stage, setting up for the kill. Punts Greeted over to the left side, right into the sweet spot up here from Steven. Just the watermelon, the NPC on the ground. You got to watch for that. You got to watch for that. They just ignored it. He got a hit on him.
Honestly, have Nappa and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but I was actually going to ask, like, do any of these characters have a double knockout potential like we saw with Tom and Jerry, Iron Giant, any of these kind of options? And it feels like Fozzy had that opportunity, especially with the watermelon Steven able to take out Greeted and then forcing Oog out of the play as well.
It was just so nice from him. I thought he was actually going crazy that game. I wouldn't be shocked if he did over 300 damage. He got so many landing nairs into big confirms into tech chases, hit the double ground bounce on people with that the landing nair spike into like a dare or a surfboard, forcing them back into the ground, get a tech chase, something like that. And he's been finding these all game, all set, really. It's on Greeted and Oog to make something happen right here in this game 4. They're down 1. What are they going to do to change it up?
Well, currently they're going to take a ton of damage, combined 130 at this point in time, while Greeted and Oog are still able to keep the focus on them, trying to find a moment, able to get a knockout on Steven. Fozzy is going to come back in, try to provide some help for Amua, but Oog able to isolate the fight, forcing Fozzy to take down Greeted, but not able to find that space. Up tilt from Oog won't be enough to take out Mua, who's on the edge once again, trying to force out Greeted and Oog.
It's a pretty solid lead so far for the red team, so long as they don't get too stuck over on the edge right now, but this is a scary spot to be in. You got to get past that dirt from Morty, because that will confirm into the up air for a kill. And then Moi, once again, just catching the dodges in the top left zone. He does lose his stock, but he does trade it out for both the people on red, so what was a deficit is now only a slightly losing position for both of them. Hits him with a nade Sarah explosion. While going kind of crazy right now in the terms of damage he's outputting. But the question is can they kill both these people on red before he takes too much damage? Reed's trying to rack up a bit of damage on him right now. Moi ran off stage, ran out of B moves, and kind of just dies on nothing. I don't really know what the plan was there.
Reset, hope for momentum shift in their favor, try to take it back in a double knockout. Ideally, Oog is pretty up there at the moment, but Greeted has been able to dodge so much damage at the moment, trying to keep focus, but that's going to be a 3-3. Oog getting knocked out. It's going to go down to either they take out Fozzy or they take out Greeted. So far, favor in red team, as that's going to put it 2-2 now with that knockout on Steven.
I'm curious as to what happened there with Moi. He kind of just walked off stage and died at 30. I don't know if he walked off and used 2 B moves without intending to. I don't know if it was a controller issue for a second. Either way, that is a game for Greeted and Nuga on the board. You'll take that if you want to advance in this tournament. There's a lot of money on the line. If my opponent walks off mid-game, I'm taking the game.
I would hope so. That'd be money on the table if you just allowed your opponents to come back after such a fatal error. I imagine it might have been a controller DC at this point in time. That's the only justification I can really think about with the double B move. But now going into it, it's going to be 2-2. We're going to have a tight matchup between red and blue, and Oog is taking the most damage out of the lobby at the moment.
He was taking the most to start off the game, but a couple side specials across the stage into the Steven will even up the damage count. Right now, Moa getting a big opening onto Greeted off of the UFO, a couple stairs on him. He's the only one who hasn't really taken too much damage right now, but you got to be careful. If you're Fauzi, you don't want to be the first person to lose your stock here. Moa doing a good job of keeping his teammate alive from that kill confirm. Steven still holding on at 130%, but he is pretty much one opening away from death, and there's the up tilt off of the clone throw from Oog, forces him off stage with the up tilt grab. He grabs him through the Steven bubble. That breaks armor. And I mean, what would have been a protection from Steven? Oog's just ready for it. Just kills him off the side at 60.
Incredible vision from Oog, able to take advantage of that moment as well. And one thing I do want to call out is Fozzy whiffed as soon as he got grabbed by that agent. But back in the favor, it's still 2-2. Greeted getting knocked out on that play. Still with the armor, tries to come in close on Mua. Instead, Fozzy focusing on Greeted, trying to take him out. Oog, side combo on both Mua and Fozzy. Fozzy with the space, gonna try and jump down on them, can't find a moment. Look in the favor of blue at this moment in time.
Right. Moa's doing a good job right now and not taking that much damage. He is going to be the stock tank in this game. The snake shot catches Oog, jumping over the shield, getting a little too overzealous, and then just the dirt into comp knockback stack. Moa pops him over to the right. The knockback stack between Morty up air, Steven forward air, just kills him off the side. And I mean, it was just a little bit too much greed, that last stock from both Oog and Greeted. Oog getting sniped by the snake shot off the top, losing his stock at 80. Greeted trying to force something when he should be the last person staying alive. Just gets caught by a dirt and killed for it. There's just too much aggression at the end.
I do love that game 2, game 3 switch up where Greeted was starting to play more aggressive, really trying to get in the mix the entire time against Fozzy and Mua, but sadly just could not really make that much of a difference going into game 5, especially just getting caught out so often by being overly aggressive. And honestly, well-timed use of the NPC from Fozzy, just able to add a little bit extra variable on the arena, forcing Greeted and Oog to have to be really aware and sadly just not able to lock in, especially at that last moment.
For sure. I believe that is going to set us up, by the way, to go over to the other side of losers' quarters.
Yes, we will be heading off to Shiro and Poro, who will be coming back onto the screen, and we will finally see Lust and Camilla coming up as well. Rick and Velma. We'll finally see how this combination works out. If I remember correctly, Shiro and Poro had a Shaggy and Wonder Woman as well, if that's correct.
It is the same comp that they just beat between Serve and Wavy. There's 2 Wonder Woman Shaggy comps in this top 8. They're hitting both of them back to back here in this on this side of losers. And I mean, obviously they apparently know how to play the comp because they were just able to beat Swerve and Wavy heading into this. That being said, Shiro and Poro generally better tournament performers than Swerve and Wavy, at least as of recent. But they will still be playing the same style of gameplay. I think Poro will probably be more willing to play slower Shaggy than Wavy will be, but we'll see.
Yeah, especially because if I remember correctly, Poro really wanted to find those moments to slow down, try to build up that rage. And so it's going to be a lot on Shiro to see how they can balance out that Rick and Velma combination in order, one, buy that time, and 2, not get overwhelmed in the moment, and then allow Poro to come in with that setup on the rage.
For sure. I think what this set, like I said before, this set kind of boils down to I think Shiro will always be doing his job on Wonder Woman. I think he'll always stick it to what he needs to be doing. He's like that kind of guy. He'll always do what he thinks is best in any given situation. similar to that set we saw in Winners where we saw Poro get not much value out of the rage moves, I think we really need to see Shaggy rage moves come alive if you want to win this. He does not have much zone breaking in his kit. You have a sandwich you can pull and you can occasionally throw, but that'll at best trade with other projectiles that probably have way less startup than the sandwich does. And your only other avenue of really bursting your way in is going to be either just approaching with an aerial and just hoping you don't get hit by a projectile, or bursting through everything with the rage moves that armor it provides. And that's what it's really going to boil down to, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also imagining Lust able to pull Poro out of these moments of safety and just immediately force him to have to abandon the build up towards rage. I truly believe that Lust and Camilla will probably take this series at least in a 3-1, if not 3-2 overall.
It's nice that they got warmed up on the exact comp they needed to warm up. You know,
that's actually that's my main reasoning. Honestly, is just like they had the warm up squad come in and say, okay, this is how we're going to play, and they're like, okay, got it. But your Shaggy's going to play more aggressive or more slow, I should say. Sorry, to get to that rage. That's going to be the difference maker. Great. We'll just mess that up as soon as humanly possible. I'm hoping that we get to see this action and we should not have any disconnect issues going into this matchup. But overall, very excited to see lower quarterfinals. After we wrap up this one, we will be moving back up to winners finals as well. But so far, lowers have, to me at least, has shown the very best matchups in the long run.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of good ones so far. These last two sets we saw with Greeded and Oog have been phenomenal. Game 5, both sets, in the Ridgeway Fulsify set, stopping our verse 3-0, and the Fauzi Moa set, keeping it close every single game with a lot of back and forth, a lot of comebacks. But here, I think we are finally loading into this set right now with Camilla and Lust versus Poro and Shiro. I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see this team play, because I know Camilla and Lust are very good, but I haven't really seen them play together. And I want to see just, like, one, how obnoxious this is going to be to deal with, and two, how they deal with the other team's counterplay to it.
Absolutely. Again, it's going to be a lot of planning. I think a lot of the mental pressure is going to be on Lust and Camilla, because Shiro and Poro were top seeded as well, and they were pretty strong coming into this. But I feel like with that warm-up match coming in back in top 8, that's going to provide this motion for Lust and Camilla to take the set in their favor. As we're going to go ahead and start with game 1, and initial damage immediately on Shiro, as Poro not actually going to play off the rage. It's actually going to get into the mix fairly quickly as well. Not taking, oh, there it is, down on the edge, able to build up that rage.
Special. Oh, he trades that. Actually, I can't believe both players died there. Just the trade on both sides. Shiro running out of resources, getting taken off the top, but Poro immediately avenging him with the rage move, killing at 20. Just, it's going to be a lot of this, I think, throughout this set. I mean, I'm surprised at how aggressive this Rick is playing. I thought it would be a lot more slower, methodical zoning center, but he is kind of just trying to get up in their faces with these jabs.
He really is, but that's also leaving Camilla out alone trying to face off against Wonder Woman, and that's going to provide Shiro a chance to go for a knockout. It's just edge guarding. It's also working on Lust at the same time, as Camilla's down below trying to build back up. Poro's going to get the up tilt and knock out Lust, and it's going to put it 2-1 in their favor.
We're seeing a really high success rate with these rage moves from Poro so far. He misses one there, but he's already secured 2 kills in the first minute of this game, one of which only at 20%. This is the kind of value you need if you're fighting against this kind of team who's just going to try to nickel and dime you to death over time. If you're on Lust and Camilla's side, this is hard, right? Because you're a team who wants to, like, build a lead slowly over time. But if you get hit by one of those big burst options and you lose that lead, how are you going to make the comeback, you know? Your whole thing is you're just like, oh, you're slowly doing damage. They finally get a reversal right there with a hit into the portal, confirming into a Sayer onto Wonder Woman. But Poro's going to have a free rage move charge over on the right side of the stage. He's going to try to make something happen with it. Tries to read them going high, but they both go low. I mean, but as long as they're both off stage here, he's not really threatened at all. He's just going to be able to pull a sandwich for free. Gets the kill onto Camilla right now. Lust struggling to make it back on stage. 74%. Shiro waiting out the dodges. Hits him with another neutral attack to send him off on the left. Does he get the kill here? He doesn't. He manages to make it back, but the sandwich forces him off. He's not been able to touch the stage one time. Finally returns to center. Gets a little bit of a laser out to protect himself. Gets the charge up special off of the portal setup, but they need this damage onto Shiro if they want to win this. Big polymorph coming out. That is a very large van. He is going to die. It is going to kill Poro. Okay, now you need to find this kill onto Shiro. How are you going to do it? Shaggy coming in with these up specials, crushing stuff. Lust low on dodge meter, has no way of avoiding the Shaggy dare over in the corner. And I mean, it was just the pressure sequences from Shiro and Poro. They just never really let them return to a zone and set up. It felt like one of them was always off stage, struggling to make it back.
It really did. I'm really impressed by the bounce back from Shiro, especially able to stall for time and then allowing Poro to get that down air on the edge. But Camilla, with the well-timed mystery van, able to pick up Poro, pack him up, set him off on another adventure, onto another mystery. Sadly, wasn't really enough. I was kind of hoping that in that time, Lust would be able to build up that damage on Shiro and they would be able to get the knockout. But overall, fantastic effort from Shiro and Poro to take game one, but a lot closer than I really anticipated.
I love the game start that Lust started that game with last time. He started the game with IAD Meeseeks. For those who don't know, Meeseeks in the air, he spawns the Meeseeks above his head. It is a super disjointed, super fast hitbox. It's very, very active. It's a good way to throw people off guard because people don't expect Rick to have that kind of momentum-based burst option, and it covers basically the perfect amount of distance for a round start. I'm curious as to if he's going to start with it again this time, or if he's going to try to start this game a little bit slower, maybe set up a bit. But if he does do that, you always run the risk of Poro running backwards, pulling a sandwich, charging rage off stage, as you see right now.
I was going to say, as you call it, immediately happens. Poro now building up rage as Shiro's going to get punched around on a one-ball combo. But sadly, not going to be enough as Poro able to push off Rick off to the side, back to the center. We have Camilla taking over. Poro trying to build space. They're hopefully going to be able to use those portals to get a little bit of a swift mix-up, but not able to do so past Shiro.
It's a pretty good start to the game so far for Lust and Camilla. While Poro went for that initial rage, they got 100 damage onto Shiro, but right now they're taking a lot of damage in return. Wonder Woman, that's the strength of her against these double zoner comps. Whenever she blocks projectiles, she builds that little meter below herself. When that meter is built, her down tilt will kill you. It is a very, very strong move, does a lot of damage, armored. And I mean, they take the first stock onto Camilla, and Poro is basically taking no damage back. And he gets a bit of a stack of, and he gets some stacks of weekend onto Camilla to start the second stock.
Yeah, Camilla had 3 stacks of weekend, has to step back. Lust currently about to get knocked out by Shiro, able to get that side air. Takes out Shiro, forces it back to a 2-1 in favor of Poro and Shiro. Still playing to the advantage, trying to use that portal to slow down the sandwiches, but it's not going to be enough. And looks like Shiro's going to try and get a knockout on Lust, who's caught on the wall with weakened and targeted as well.
Only double polymorph coming out for the red team right now. Can they make anything happen about it? We have Shiro playing the wall in center stage with these side specials to block all of these projectiles. Dash attacks under the Rick laser, gets under Camilla. You have to be careful of Shaggy Sandwich, throws it down, kills one of them with it. Camilla stuck in the blast zone, lower resources, 1 dodge to make it back right now. Drifts too far to the side, tries to avoid the Wonder Woman stare, ends up going off the blast zone. And Shiro and Poro up 2-0, playing this comp very well. You just have Shiro play that anti-projectile front line. You have Poro sit in the back, throw sandwiches, charge rage. No need to necessarily force anything into the double zoners. Just play your own game.
Honestly, yeah, just Shiro and Poro finding this moment and just breaking apart any plan that Lust and Camilla have been throwing at them. And it really feels like they want to find their way back to the top of the bracket. Able to do so. We're currently 1 away from a 3-0 sweep in their favor. Velma and Rick, what do you think should be the game plan going in? Because obviously the initial start has not been going in their favor. Poro and Shiro just so quick to catch them off guard, especially that initial sandwich from Poro.
I think they need to keep pressure up on Poro somehow, some way, whether it's Rick running him down or Velma trying to scrap with him. I think that's what needs to happen. As soon as you focus down Shiro, he just slows the game down. He starts throwing out armored moves, playing the dodge game, just generally being a nuisance with Wonder Woman's very large active aerials. And as soon as you start trying to hunt down Shiro, that just lets Poro do what he wants. He sets up in the back line, starts lobbing grenades across the stage, sets up the rage that can just kill you at any percent. And it's just, you just have to keep the pressure on Poro. And it's hard because scrapping as Velma and Rick is not what you want to do. You want to slow the game down. You want to have them run to you, play your style. But if you try to play like that versus Shaggy and Wonder Woman, you're just putting yourself into a disadvantageous situation. That being said, I'm curious to see how they'll handle it. Maybe you see crushing stuff instead of going aggro. Maybe you see him throw out some more full stage portals and then just send stuff through the portals across the stage. Maybe that's his way of causing pressure on the Shaggy. There are versatile ways of handling things in this kit. Rick's got enough stuff in his kit. At the end of the day, Velma probably can't run down Shaggy. She can try, but it probably won't really work in her favor, so it's probably got to be on Lust here.
I was gonna say it sounds like it should be Lust's responsibility, and I don't know if they're gonna have enough time to effectively use a full stage portal though.
The problem is, it's just going to be very difficult because as soon as you do decide to make that decision of, hey, we need to run them down, then you have to fight Shaggy Wonder Woman in close quarters, which is not a situation you're necessarily advantageous in, but I just don't think you can let Shaggy set up. I think if you let Shaggy set up like this against you, you are just asking to lose the game over time. He will just provide more value than you in the back line.
Mm-hmm. All that we are on match point for Shiro and Poro as Lust and Camilla are trying to find some kind of life going into game 3, and ideally we're going to be able to see a chance for them going into game 3. Hopefully, we're going to have that rush down from Lust, able to go on, take down Shiro for half a second, and it's focusing in on Poro, but Poro's going to be able to break away in that moment. Down air on Lust, and Lust has to find some space, tries to use the ray to shrink them down to size, but will not be able to do so. Takes advantage and gets a little bit bigger with the me seats.
They just won. Poro and Shiro just won neutral so much at the start that they just beat up Lust to the point where he can't really engage anymore without risking dying. I mean, this opening from Shiro is just absolutely massive. Down airs the Velma down. The Sair meant for the Velma catches the Rick trying to come in and punish. He just kills both of them. And then the Sair the wrong way. Oh, dude, this is looking so rough.
It's going to be near impossible for them. It's not looking good for Lust and Camilla as they're trying once again to find that space. They're going to focus on Shiro, trying to find space away from Poro, but they're now once again below the stage, trying to break up, get onto the arena, and hopefully able to at least push Shiro away. But Poro's going to rush down on Lust, and now in a 1v1 fight, Poro's going to find his space to get that rage art, and I truly think it's just going to go to Shiro and Poro again.
Well, this is the full stage kick, manages to catch onto the Rick. He's able to punish it with a Sair to send Shaggy off stage, but that's where he wants to be. That's a free rage move over in the corner. He kicks back the van. One more hit on the van. Yeah, that'll be the end of it. And they don't even get the kill with one of their main resources of doing it. This is looking over. Full charge down tilt from the side of Shiro. Gets the kill onto Lust. Camilla is the stock tank here, already at 60%, and they need to get this kill on Poro now. And it's just not happening.
It's not happening at all as they're still on the very edge. Shiro's in between the mix for Lust and Camilla, but that's not going to help out. Poro is the one that they need to knock out. Shiro is building up. They're one away. It's not going to work as Camilla is on burnout, won't be able to dodge effectively. Poro gets knocked down to the ground. Shiro is able to chase after Lust. That's going to provide an opening as Poro will get the knockout on Camilla at the very end.
Dash attack forced him into the blast zone. Spite special catching the movement in. I mean, that's a pretty clean and dominant 3-0 for Poro and Shiro, despite Camilla and Lust having defeated the same comp right before this. Clearly showing they just know how to play it way better. And they're going to secure their spot into top 4 of this tournament.
Yeah, they are going to be moving on to face off against Fozzie and Mua, who I believe actually knocked them. No, I apologize. I thought they knocked them down earlier, but no, they have not had a chance to face off against Fozzie and Mua. But with that, though, what an impressive showing from Shiro and Poro as well. Really setting a standard and showing why they are such a strong Wonder Woman and Shaggy combination, able to take a perfect 3-0 off of Fozzie and Mua, who, again, in my opinion, were probably some of the crowd favorites.
For sure. And, I mean, we're in top 4 now. I feel the need to say. We've made it to the top 4. We're in the top cut, one might say, of this tournament. Every match from now on... Well, it's a $3,000 tournament, right? There's a lot of money on the line. Shout out to Hot Pocket. But every match, so from now on, is a massive money match. The difference between first and second place is a difference of $600. If you walk out of this tournament, you are walking out with $1,200, $600 apiece. If you walk out at second place, you are getting $600, $300 apiece. There's money to be made here from every match from now on. So I'm expecting people to be trying the hardest here.
Yeah, that $1,000 prize pool is about 2/3 of my rent. I would love to have that much money dropped in my pocket at this moment. But we will be actually moving back up to the top bracket, I believe. We will be heading on towards winners final, where we're going to look at Jungle FPZ again against Moises and Misty C, who FPZ was a fascinating Black Adam and played with Jungle, who, if I remember correctly, was a Wonder Woman main as well. So we're going to see a bit of a difference with Black Adam playing that back line once more.
That's what we're going to be seeing. Although I will say, even though Bugs is kind of a zoner, he's also kind of not. This is, in my opinion, one of the matchups where Black Adam can have one of the most annoying times to get going. Bugs can just fling himself in and prevent him from playing slow in that way he likes to a lot. That being said, Black Adam does have a lot of good tools to destroy the Bugs stuff that he has going on. Black Adam Nair being the biggest armor break move in the game means it's in a really effective way of destroying Bugs safe. Armor break moves destroy safe. In general, he can also lightning grab off the safe and chain the lightning grab into Bugs, because lightning grab chains off projectiles if he ever plays too far near it. So there is counterplay to a lot of like the main setups Bugs will do. But the boxing tools Bugs has makes it so Black Adam has to play in spots he doesn't like to. He's going to have to play a lot more floaty, maybe float around with up Bs if Bugs approaches him with Nair, you stuff him out with a Dare, that kind of thing. And on the side of Steven, similar to, he will just be playing that air-to-air game against Black Adam if Black Adam's forced to jump too much. Steven will just run at him with the Nair, force Black Adam to be in a runaway a little bit more, maybe he gets caught by the Bugs, that kind of thing. I think what this game is actually really going to boil down to is just how hard Jungle can press the advantage. Jungle is probably the best twos Wonder Woman at the moment. He goes absolutely insane. He's so good at catching dodges. He's so good at winning 1v2s with his team when his teammates far behind him, even if they're not able to help him. And I think also in particular, he just has like a really solid neutral game. He's very aggressive a lot of the time. Like he'll just run at you, but he will catch your option every time. And I think it's going to be on Misty and Moises to avoid that and try to return as much damage as possible. We saw it already. They won against Shiro and Poro to make it here, which was against another Wonder Woman team. Shiro, obviously one of the best Wonder Womans in the game as well. So we'll see how it goes here going into game one.
Yeah, I think they're going to be very used to an aggressive Wonder Woman getting into their space. And what's going to be fascinating is going to see how Moises is able to take advantage and shut down that era that FPZ is going to be locked in on. But FPZ and Jungle typically need just one game to figure out game strat, and then they will come back in that. In the meantime, it looks like Misty and Moises are going to be taking the most damage in this initial rally, as Misty's already on the edge and Jungle able to force them back. FPZ pushed off the side with Misty on the edge guard, won't be able to block out. But there's going to be that first knockout as Misty gets taken out.
Jungle was doing so well that first stock, keeping on Misty, playing the advantage so strong, but he gets caught by the rocket up air out of tunnel, loses his first stock so early. Misty and Moises just evening it up, trying to get the shark going onto Jungle, maybe get a second stock on him. FPZ's kind of forced to play his first stock off stage right now, stuck in burnout. But Jungle, I mean, he's doing so much damage, but he's taking a lot in return at the moment. Moises just stuffing out the approach onto Misty. And now it's time for Jungle and FPZ. They set up a little bit of a camp over on the left side of the stage. The chain lightning gets a bit of an opening for Jungle, but they don't get anything off of it. And the landing there from Bugs will give Steven the room to kill Black Adam. And although this game started off so well for Jungle and FPZ, now they're quite a bit behind.
Yeah, it's that combination between Misty and Moises. Misty able to set up for Steven to get that knockout, but now Misty in burnout, as well as FPZ, both players getting a little bit weak, not able to effectively use their dodges. Moises now on burnout as well, near the top edge of the map, able to come back down, but won't be able to find that space. Will get knocked out at the end, and still 2-2. Jungle on burnout needs to avoid the attack from Misty. Up air from Misty is going to knock out Jungle, and now it's 3-2 in favor of red.
Good awareness from Jungle right there, seeing that the safe is stuck on top of the bubble. Just hits it with a Nair, destroys that Wonder Woman got that armor breaking Nair. They're not letting Misty really get any value from projectiles at the moment. But these Nairs could potentially lead up to a lot of damage. The question is who will be the next person to lose their stock? Both people on blue are taking a lot of damage. FPZ forced to go into burnout just to stay alive. Lightning grab in the corner, and Rose Bomb and safe. There's so many things to avoid right now, but Jungle manages to make it through. Hits him with the dash attack near the corner. Moises is popped up in the air. Bugs is in the corner, down and off the wall. Goes for the double, but the save from Steven. What a shield. Oh, but he's still dead.
Misty needs to get out of this edge, but is currently being blocked out by Misty. FPZ and Jungle able to get the final knockout. Misty just too overwhelmed on that edge. What a comeback from FPZ and Jungle.
It was just so good for them. I think Misty just shouldn't have been by the edge. He just played too aggressive over there. He tried to force a kill when he didn't necessarily need to. They already had the lead. He got aggressive when they were on last stock. He got punished for it. Got hit by 2 Black Adam dares, a Wonder Woman dare. Steven ran out of shields. He couldn't get protected anymore. He was just gone. But that being said, they showed signs of life in that game. They started that game off very poorly, but the rocket up air confirm onto Jungle was able to even it up pretty quick. And the question is do they start this game just as bad? Jungle starting the game off by not letting Misty get anything going. He reads both dodges, forces 30% onto him. But the jab from Misty manages to catch both of them into the up air. Not going to kill Wonder Woman, but it's a lot of damage, while Moises on the side of FPZ is also winning his 1v1. Good damage onto the blue team right now.
Jungle trying to break down Misty, trying to get around, but it's going to get caught up in the mix. Misty trying to get an up air on Jungle, won't be able to do so. Instead, they're back to the edge as Jungle has a chance to catch Moises on the outside, but won't be able to do so. FPZ getting dropped. First stock take by Red.
Good nairs from FPZ to force Misty off stage. Bugs is in burnout, so he doesn't really want to get near that safe. He's just going to try to use it to buy himself a little bit of time, but that'll be a neutral attack from Wonder Woman. And with the weakened stacks over in the corner, it's going to be able to kill the Bugs. And then FPZ with the flight flies above the Steven, hits him with the dare, takes him off the side. And this is, Jungle's one hit from death here. It's not really a lead for blue team, but these games are so back and forth. It feels like one team is losing and then they're winning, and then the next team's winning.
They're picking their spots very well when it comes to trying to use a side neutral or just charge up and take advantage. And sometimes they're just falling into their own traps as well, just not really able to confirm hits.
Jungle is making so much use out of the last stand perk right now. He has been over 100% for basically a minute straight. He was applying so much weaken to everyone in that game. He racked so much extra damage up. FPZ able to find 2 kills on that final stock without Jungle even dying.
Doesn't end here.
They just needed to force the kill on Jungle. That's why Last Stand considered one of the best perks in the game, right? He's stuck over 100%. He's just applying extra damage and knockback on everyone he's hitting. If you don't find that kill on Jungle, he's getting so much extra value by staying alive. Just putting out hits over and over and over and over again. Like, you need to force that kill. You need him gone. But they just weren't able to find it.
Yeah, Jungle, especially going back to that use of the Last Stand, just able to really survive. Provides FPZ that space in order to be that backliner, set up those zones, and set up that air utility as well, able to force down Moises and Misty into Jungle's space in order for Jungle to get those kills as well. Going into this, it's about to be a 3-0 sweep in favor of Jungle and FPZ. Moises and Misty, what do you think their game plan should be going into this?
I think they just got to deal with Jungle better. It feels like he's making so much stuff happen for them. Every single game, he's catching their dodges with jabs. He's reading every dodge with a Sayer. If they're in the air, he's every single hit he gets feels like it confirms for 50%. FPZ is doing a phenomenal job sitting in the back, staying alive, getting the final blows. But if Jungle's just sitting in your face doing so much work, I don't even think you have a chance in this. You need to find a way to stop him.
So hopefully, as we get ready for the next match, we're looking at an opportunity for Misty and Moises to come back. But FPZ in Jungle so far, I really like that synergy that they're building up towards, especially with Jungle providing that space, showing a very different Wonder Woman compared to what we've seen earlier, and able to provide that space and provide that rush down as we cut back to the caster screen.
Right. So they're actually thinking where they want to go. They're just going back sky flat. They think they can win here. They think they can win here. And I think they can. The first game really showed that they could. Like, they literally threw the first game away. That last game was a bit more decisive, I would say, for the side of FPZ and Jungle. But that first game, they were literally up and they threw it away. I just need to see them beat Jungle. I just need to see them hit Jungle more.
Honestly, if I see them focus on jungle, that could be useful in the long run, but the issue to me is just allowing FPZ to take up so much space then and be able to build up momentum and then finally find that charge, as Moise's going to try go in on that new tilt air. Won't be able to find a chance. Moise's just trying to break through FPZ and jungle with that.
Oh my god, they just removed FPC from the game, man. He just got caught in place. All the down airs, the bugs holding him in place, Steven getting a couple landing nairs in there for a bunch of extra damage, pop him up with the rocket into an up air, and that's just it. FPC lost his stock in 20 seconds.
Okay, so forget everything we said about focusing on jungle. I think focusing on FPZ might be the better option at this point in time, as jungle and FPZ are
Again, he's in burnout. They got him twice. They're going absolutely insane on FPZ right now. Maybe this was just the move. Just beat up the Black Adam.
And now it's starting to come, focusing on making a comeback. Moises and Misty will get knocked down that run, but they're still focusing on FPZ, just getting jungle knocked out of the way. They're finding their space, but Misty's going to charge in fairly soon, just trying to take that space. And Watermelon's Steven out on the field as well.
Grab here. Hits him with the up tilt up air. FPZ's not in a good spot, man. He could already lose his third. Rocket on the right side forces it back to the left. Steven staying alive from the Wonder Woman edge guard here. Safe is going to help protect him as well. Bouncy Safe because it's right next to the rocket. Get caught by the Bugs jab. Safe comes back down there on the right. FPZ's getting a bit of damage going, but I mean, they're so far behind right now. Steven's still on the first, and that's 3 deaths from FPZ in that game already. They just removed him. They're just like, all right, we're just going to beat up the large target. Heck the Wonder Woman. We're just going to run past her. Maybe let's just try to play the out damage game. Just try to outrush her teammate before she can outrush us.
Honestly, that seems to be the best strategy going forward, but I imagine jungle and FPZ are going to now allow themselves to basically break apart, and hopefully FPZ will be able to prevent this initial rush of damage now that they know what to anticipate going into game 4. Jungle was fighting for so long, got knocked out only once, but during that respawn time between FPZ coming back and Jungle's the only one on the field, I love the lockdown that Moises and Misty did, especially in that initial half where Jungle was just towards the lower side of the map, outside the edge, and just kept getting pushed down further and further. Still survived because of that last stand perk, but could not get back into space until FPZ respawned, and Moises and Misty refocused on FPZ.
I'm curious as to see what the adjustment is going to be on the side of FPZ and jungle. I think FPZ in the back of his head has got to be like, all right, that was my fault, right? you got to be like, my bad. I'll change what I'm doing. I'm curious to see as to what kind of playstyle change that would take. On Black Adam, I'm assuming it would just mean he plays more floaty, play floaty, hover around with the dares a lot more. That way you can't get the big openings that Bugs likes to get on you, like towards the ground, where he hits you with like the grounded jabs or nairs and gets a bit confirmed. That being said, playing floaty is scary. It's very scary because it means he's more under threat from Steven. He's under threat with some of Bug's other tools like Sarah and Up Air. But those tools won't lead to him taking 100 in opening. They'll take more so 40 to 50, you know?
And so Misty and Moises will have to work a little bit harder to do that extra damage, but you can see Moises already on top of the shield, building that platform. Is now going to try and invade that space, pushes up FPZ, and tries to break him away. That's going to provide Misty a chance to try to drop the safe on them, but that's not going to be enough.
See Jungle playing a lot more towards FPZ this time around, staying with him for pretty much the entirety of the beginning of the game, saying, hey, if you want to jump him, you have to deal with me too. I mean, this is by far the slowest pace game we've seen so far. Jungle and FPZ have drastically changed the game plan here. No more running forward on Jungle. He's just deciding to play support, and so far it's working a lot better than the last one. FPZ has been able to not take any damage so far. Jungle's finally been put into a spot where he can play aggressive. The side special going to force Bugs over to the side. The damage on Steven almost into a kill off the top. And I mean, FPZ's the only person right now not really that close to dying, but Misty reads the air dodge, forces him off to the side. That's gonna be Rocket Upper. He's actually dead. Just the opening for Misty catching bubble dodges, while on the other side of the stage, Moises manages to find the kill on Jungle. They're still maintaining the lead somehow, some way.
That was a solo kill by Moises as well on Jungle. What an impressive play as Misty uses safe, able to push Jungle away, but looks like FPZ is going to get a little bit tighter in, and they're going to be a little bit more dangerous, get knocked out. They still have Jungle up in the air. They're going to try and knock Jungle out once again. Last stand, no one cares about it, but it's going to force Misty to be dropped off to the up corner.
All right, they need to find this kill onto Moises to start bringing this game back. Jungle's trying to force it, comes into him with the Sair, but he burns himself out in the process. Moises missing the upper, means the jungle will be able to find the kill regardless, but now they are super far behind. One of them will have to stay alive here no matter what. It's a good opening onto Misty from the side of FPZ, but he takes it too far and he's going to take damage from Moises in return. You have to be careful here. You can't really force a kill onto Bugs if you're going to take damage, because you need to live. You're both on your last stocks right now. This is Misty setting up center stage right now. Misty getting a little bit aggressive, taking a lot of damage for his troubles.
So able to break away though, but Jungle's not going to give up on Misty. About to dive in once more. Misty trying to get help from Moises, but not able to confirm a knockout as Misty's going to get knocked out and Jungle will follow shortly after.
FPZ tries to get an up tilt upper onto Moises, tries to get some sort of early kill going right now. He's stuck stalling off stage 116. The question is, how are you going to catch him? He has so much air mobility out there with the up special. And right now they're just getting stuffed out by Jungle over and over. They're doing a little bit of damage back to Jungle in return, but that's not the one you need to be killing. Misty goes super aggressive, tries to fly in for it. You have FPZ in burnout, but so is Misty. Misty's in burnout. This could potentially be bad. And then Moises misses the Sair. He missed the Sair. He just missed. And then Jungle just hits him with the back end of the neutral attack and he dies.
Don't feel too bad about it.
What a whiff. Misty had all this opportunity to take out FPZ and just could not stay afloat long enough. And that provides so much opportunity for Jungle, especially after that whiff. Especially after the whiff.
It's the same thing we saw game one, man. You have one of them off stage at death percent. They got nervous. They're like, we need to make this kill happen or we're going to lose. They could just potentially focus down Jungle in the 2v1. FPZ can't contribute without risking dying. And instead, they just get greedy. Misty jumps off stage, gets put into a spot where he might go down. Moises is forced to come and approach. He whiffs his approach onto Jungle, and then he just loses his life for it. But at the end of the day, they're not out of the tournament. They still have losers ahead of them. They're going to be fighting against the winner, Ashiro and Poro and Fauzi Moa. Jungle and FPZ, first seed of the tournament, securing their spots in winner's side grands. Not the most shocking thing in the world, but keeping their run going, doing very well for themselves.
And honestly, what a way to come back. Even after that the adjustment from realizing that FPZ is going to be focused in on and Jungle just not going further than maybe 2 squares away from FPZ in order to give that support, be able to provide that backup and allow FPZ to have that space, and then forcing Misty and Moises to try to adjust, try to take out Jungle. It started to work initially, but when they needed to close the gap at the very end, Misty especially just could not get that knockout on FPZ, and I am shocked they could not confirm a hit.
I mean, it's hard to catch Black Adam. That's one of the main strengths Black Adam has as a character. When Black Adam needs to stall, he can stall. His up B, his up special has so much aerial drift to it. Like you saw him there, like he just started drifting in the blast zone basically. It just sitting right outside of the range of Misty's Sair, and as soon as Misty missed double Sair, he's forced to go back to the edge, had to burn himself out to do it, and then that was just curtains. He got so greedy going for it. And like his only real option if he wanted to kill FPZ in that situation was to like read where he was going to fly to, and he just wasn't able to do it. And that's why it was such a greedy option to go for. I mean, if he got it, he got it. But if you don't, I mean, that's just a disaster in the making.
And it's just such a punishable turn. Like you're saying, if you got it, you got it. But such a high risk play against Black Adam. So with that, hopefully we're going to see a chance for them to bring it back when we go into lower finals. But before we get there, we have to go towards lower semifinals where Shiro and Poro are going to be facing off against Foises and Mua once more. Or for the first time, I should say.
Yeah, you got the Fauzi and Mua. This is interesting. This is both these teams lost in winners to the teams that are above them. They both lost in winner semis. So the teams that made it to winner semis are all in top 4. They all won their losers matches. They're continuing it going. That being said, I don't think these teams have really played against each other at all, to my knowledge. So I'm curious as to see how this one's going to go out. Shiro and Poro clearly clearly willing to do the methodical stuff they need to do to win against some of the zoner teams, which in my head, right, I think they're going to be prepared for this matchup against Moa and Fauzi. That being said, you never know how it's going to play out in real time. But in my head, I'm thinking Shiro Poro are probably the favorites here.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, just visualizing game one, it's definitely going to be Shiro going in and buying time, getting highly aggressive, while Poro is going to play that slow Shaggy, again, stepping off, taking that time to build up that rage, and then charging in at the right moment. It's going to force Fauzi and Moa to try to basically play that time. And I guess in the first game, they're going to try and see how well they can contest and disrupt Poro from building up that rage before Shiro can stall for a time correctly and do enough damage to where Poro can come in and get that knockout.
It does look like we are loading into game one here. Trophy's Edge, the classic for game one. It's either this or Skyflat. And I think the first 5 seconds of this game is going to determine the pace of the set. Do we see Fauzi and Wah build the Steven house, send out the side special, send out the up special, have your Morty set up in there right away? Or do we see them immediately go on the aggressive to make sure Poro can't get a rage? I think that'll determine the set. And what I want to see is at least one of them, at least not necessarily jump on Poro, but at least threaten him so he feels like he can't get away with the rage, you know?
Yeah, I don't think Poro will fall for that threat, though. I think Poro's going to trust Shiro as we see this initial.
Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to see out of the side of Fauzi and Wall, where they don't go aggressive and jump on to Shiro and Poro, but they both jump to around the middle and then just chill around there, because that takes away the space Poro would need to be able to charge rage without like directly landing on him and like having to fight him or the Wonder Woman straight up. You know what I mean?
I love Fauzi immediately jumping on Poro, pushing him off the edge, but now Poro is able to get that weakened status on Fauzi, and there's going to be Poro getting knocked out first. What an upswing from Mua, and still, once again, 1-0. Fauzi on burnout, sadly. Mua just getting back his dodge meter. Won't be able to break apart from Poro, who's up on the shield platform at least.
It's a pretty good opening so far from Juan and Fauzi. If they get this edge guard onto Shiro. Okay, I like the idea there, right? You see the Shaggy raging, you both jump on the teammate to try to get a kill, but Mua, like, it feels like he gave up on the game plan. You have a good amount of time to 2v1 there while the Shaggy's charging rage. Instead of dealing with that and doing that, he kind of just sat in the center and waited, which means he didn't really contribute to the edge guard on one or stopping the rage on the other. That being said, they are still a pretty good amount up right now. 60% on Poro's second stock already. Steven only sitting at 80% right now. Gonna get caught by the upper from Wonder Woman, but he's still not dead. Landing there from Steven, gonna do around 30 damage. 15 apiece onto the side of blue right now. And as long as he holds onto the stock, they can potentially rack up a lot of extra credit. Wonder Woman gets the spike hitbox on the up air, meaning that Steven's still gonna stay alive. They could have killed him right there, but the dirt interrupt from Morty. I mean, they just can't get this kill on Steven.
Yeah, Steven is just currently and dropped immediately. But Mua at least able to do some very decent damage. Steven as well. Fauzi able to try to set that up. Now it's Shiro at 95, while Poro's going to take the ship up, take the elevator up, and build up that rage. Will that be the mistake that provides Poro that opening to get the knockout, tie up the game, and bring it back in their favor? As
it is. He goes down. Now the question is, can they find this kill onto Steven before Wonder Woman gets tapped? She's at 140 right now. That is such a high percent to be at. But Shaggy got some of the highest kill power in the game. One strong opening right now could be the end of this Steven. On Fauzi trying to rack up damage on the Shaggy instead. They're like, hey, we don't need to go chase this Wonder Woman off the stage. Poro might have room to charge up a rage right now, though, and that's scary. If he hits this could be the end of Steven Universe. He goes for it, he hits it. Rewind doesn't get out in time. And, I mean, that's just it. You just catch him with the rage kick in the corner. Moi just a second too slow on the rewind. It's just not up.
Peace.
Shiro and Poro take the game despite being down for so long.
What an impressive comeback from Poro, especially, and Shiro able to buy that time. But Poro being able to build up that rage and catches Fauzi just makes it especially frustrating, because they had such a well-rounded game plan going into match one. And you have to imagine that if they stayed focused on Shiro in that opportunity while Poro was on the opposite side of the arena, blocked by the shield, if they had gotten that knockout on Shiro, do you think that game would have gone so much differently? Do you think they commit to that edge guard in the future, or do you think they're going to try and come in with a different game plan?
I don't even know if that was the decider, because like, and at the end of the day, if they got that, they still would have been in a good spot. Shiro didn't do too much extra value with that stock, thankfully, that first one. But at the end there, right, where they had Shiro off stage at the left at 140, and they were decided to 2v1 Poro, they knocked Poro all the way back to the left with Shiro at 110%. So they're basically both off stage on the left side at kill percent. And what did Mao and Fauzi do? They back up. They both backed up to center. They just tried to hold center. And like, well, in a lot of matchups, that's a good thing to do because it means you can just ledge trap over and over. Like that would have been good against the Black Adam stuff we saw at PZ doing. Against Shaggy, that's not what you can do. You have to stay somewhat close to him. You can't just let him get that charge for free. He just was able to charge up off stage, gets the full rage, comes across the stage, reads the jump from Fauzi, kills him at 78.
In the moment, I do want to say apologies if there's any technical issues. We are about to come back to the caster screen in the moment as we get the lobby info set back up. But just Poro able to find so much space and time in order to utilize that rage so effectively. And I feel like if being able to find that space, I again see Shiro and Poro just able to rush down Morty and rush down Steven to where they can't really protect themselves properly, even with that rewind. Just that rewind coming in so late because I don't think they were ready for Poro to come in on that rush.
Mm-hmm. And it was a good reaction from Wah, realizing, okay, if my teammate dies, I need to rewind him. But I don't think rewind is an instant move. I think it has a little bit of startup to it.
Yeah.
But
currently we have folks restarting in the moment just to make sure everything runs out nice and smooth. Mm-hmm. So once again, folks, I do want to thank you all for joining us here at the Pocket Legends and Pocket League for Frostborn Legends. And once again, a shout out to our sponsor up above at Hot Pockets. Make sure to grab a snack while we get back to the lobby in the meantime. So far, seeing so many good matchups. Mirrorman, do you have a favorite match that you've seen throughout the entire throughout the stream portion that we've covered between the top 8 so far?
I think the set between Fauzi and Wah and Greeted Noog was very, very good. Game 5 down to the wire most of the games. Showed off like some lesser seen characters as well with the Agent Smith. I was a big fan of that set. I was really hoping we could see the Les Camilla versus Swerve Wavy set. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see that one.
Sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes it's just technical issues back and forth, forcing us to make a decision in the moment to switch games. But with that, we're going to be rejoining the lobby for Shiro and Poro against Fauzi and Mua. Currently 1 up on the side of Shiro and Poro. How do you think Fauzi and Mua take game 2 back in their favor?
I do like how they started the last game. Okay, no, I like the adaptation from Shiro and Poro. They're like, all right, they want to meet us at the start. Let's go into them. If they want to fight, we can fight. Poro right now keeping some pressure onto Moi, trying to combo him off his own UFO off the top. Doesn't manage to find the up B, but it's still a lot of damage. And Shiro, in the meantime, winning his 1v1 against Fauzi means the damage lead is pretty far on the side of blue team to start off the game. They actually kill Steven off of the ladder, off the top. And I mean, this is a very good start for Poro and Shiro. He gets the weakened stacks onto Morty as well, which means Moi is under a bit of a threat for the next little bit. And just to get the double nade to protect himself.
Steven trying to knock out Poro, trying to get in the way, but going to be knocked back towards Shiro. Shiro with the low kick takes up both of them with weakened status effect, and now it's going to be Fauzi on the edge against Shiro. I don't think that's a fight you win, bud, as they're forced back to the center. UFO going up. Mua trying to take control. Shiro with the up air will knock out Mua.
And it's looking like a pretty big lead for Poro and Shiro right now. Poro trying to force Steven to chase him off stage with these rage charges. Doesn't commit to it. He's just going to play for the reversal every time. You got to be so careful playing against Shaggy in this situation. But Fauzi does come out on top of the edge guard, but he is at 90 for his troubles.
Back and forth. Poro, dodge, trying to find some space to build up some rage. Shiro's going to come in and fight. Able to get... They're going to have Poro with 1 knockout, and it's going to be 2-1 so far. Fauzi trying to fight between Shiro and Poro. It's going to get up-aired, and that's going to be another knockout game point in favor of blue. It's still pretty close. Hopefully Mua can make the stock count.
Question is how long can he stay alive? He's at 94%. He gets caught by the uppercut from Shaggy. forced to retreat to the left side of the stage. He's still in burnout right now, which means Shiro has a really good opportunity to push this advantage. He manages to get down low enough to where he can stall, but Shiro just floating above the teleport, waiting for the armor to expire and Morty to go through, hits him with the down air. And that game was a lot more convincing than game one. They took the lead and they ran to the bank with it.
And I really feel like Shiro was able to set their value highly above, because I feel like Poro was more just there to add some confusion. It might have just been because I've been looking at Fozzie and Mua a bit more, but I felt like Poro wasn't able to build up that rage as much in game 2 compared to game 1.
I'm curious. The round mix-up start has been really cool so far. Poro and Shiro played really aggressive that last one. Looks like they tried to do the same this time, but Wah actually stuffs it this time around, so they're not going to take an immediate 80 damage disadvantage for making the wrong guess. Right now, Fauzi trying to help a little bit onto the side of Moi, gets this forward air to pressure the Shaggy to the left. I mean, look at what he's doing over here. Just threatening these rage charges over and over and over again. He has one on deck right now. Goes for the side special. Tries to catch the jump from Moi. Moi able to dodge out of the way in time, though. And he's going to eat a lot of damage for his troubles. Shaggy all the way up to 60 right now. This is a chance to go crazy if you're Steven Universe. Forward air pressures off. Shiro, you have a nade to help hold center. But Shaggy just, like I said, he's just threatening these rages off stage. Great coverage from Moi. Hits him with the nade as soon as he jumps up. They're doing a lot better with dealing with Poro this time around.
Yeah, they're working a little bit harder to provide that backup, but it feels like the advantage is still in favor of Poro and Shiro. As I said, that Shiro's currently in burnout at 105, 110 in the moment. It's going to try and get that backdash. Tries to get Fozzie, but instead that's going to be a knockout on Shiro. Shiro not able to get past, and then Fozzie able to get knocked out, but Wah still alive, fighting the edge, trying to break away from Poro, who gets that rage charge. That could be a chance to knock out Wah, but won't be able to find that hit confirm unless it's that.
Shiro's at 30. Fozzie comes back in. Fozzie comes back in with the fresh stock, hits the double landing nair, gets the original kill on Shaggy, spikes down Wonder Woman low enough to where another nair will kill. That's a huge opening. And at this point, well, it does give you a third stock, and a third stock isn't the most important thing when they're both at 0, because you have to get a full stock to kill one of them anyway. It gives you options. Now they don't have to force a kill on one of them. They can go for either. They're doing a very, very good job at racking up damage on Shiro right now. Going to be a dirt into up air from the Steven. Force the Wonder Woman to the top of the blast zone at 134%. And it doesn't really matter if the Steven dies here. Nice little rewind from Morty. Throws at center stage so the Steven can jump off and teleport. But there's a great charge on that down tilt from Wonder Woman, catching the rewind as well. But now, okay, it's a question. Can Poro find this kill on Wah before Fauzi finds this kill onto Shiro? Steven's gonna have some shields to protect himself a little bit. He's trying to get the charge up. Wonder Woman tries to give him some armor, but it's not enough. The Sair from Fauzi coming over the shields, and they get themselves on the board.
Fozzie with the well-timed near double knockout, able to push out Poro. Poro just couldn't really find that moment, that space to use that rage art in the last seconds. And honestly, I love the well-timed rewinds from Wah as well, able to bring not only himself back, Shiro catching Wah at the very end of it, but being able to save Fozzie, and that felt like it was a game changer for them going through that set, able to lock in for game 3. So now game 4, hopefully going to be tying this one, unless Shiro and Poro anticipate the switch ups and are able to allow Poro to get a little bit more space to use that rage art. And if Shiro can help set up and force everyone on the red team to fall into Poro, that'll be a huge opportunity for them.
Never let my friends down.
All right, good opening so far from Wah and Fauzi, forcing Poro and Shiro both to the edge. 50% on both of them right now. Wah still doing a great job, just staying completely untouched in this game. Straight Shaggy kick, gonna get a little bit of damage for Poro right now. But Wah has just been doing such a good job at not getting hit up until that Wonder Woman combo right there. Forced to dodge right now. Shaggy goes for the kill right here. That was such a good opening from Poro. Dash attack into knee to kill the Steven. Turns around, side special on the Morty. Just off that one opening from Poro, they've taken back the lead. Forces Moa to go down low right now. He is still stuck in burnout on the side of the Steven. Fauzi manages to get the kill on Shiro, though. Right now, we're basically even in this game.
Basically even more. Moa just getting taken out in that moment, but they still need to take out Poro. Poro with so much damage. There's the side air. Just able to even it up 2-2, but still feels like it's in the favor of blue at the moment. Shiro's able to try to chase down Moa, but can't really break through. Nice shield from Fozzy and now is trying to take away that rage from Poro, but won't be enough. Bubble shield up for both squads, but not enough, and that's gonna be a knockout on Watermelon Steven. Oh, it's actually Steven for a moment.
Oh my god, dude, the catch from Shiro on the left side of the stage. He had one burnout. Fauzi was like, okay, I have to shield my teammate, but he was just swinging on him, hits him with double Sair into up air off his own UFO to kill him off the top. And right now, Fauzi needs to play for his life. He's on tournament stock right now. This is a $100 stock. You can't get lassoed and up tilted. Great save from Wah. He's gonna stay alive. Chance to chase onto Poro off stage. Rewind's gonna force him to go back to center. He's actually gonna be able to finish the rage move with his jab from Wah is big. Forces them both off stage. He has to use it just to recover. There's no rage move on the side of Shaggy. This is really good. Wonder Woman's stuck in the bubble. Did he get the Rose Bomb timing? He didn't. The Nair spikes him instead, but that's a dirt up there. One, Fauzi, they bring it back.
What a comeback from Red. Just Fozzy playing so well for his life, and Moi able to lock up. That bubble around Shiro was enough to buy some time, set it up. Poro could not find an effective moment to try to take out Fozzy. What a play from Red.
It was just insane. Wah stuffed them out on repeat. He hit the jab on both of them at the edge. He forced Shaggy to use his rage move to recover. He didn't even get to even try to use it to kill the Steven. And then he racked up so much damage on the Wonder Woman that the Shaggy, who I thought was going to be the one to die, he was the guy at 100. No, it was the Wonder Woman. It was just the stacks of weaken from the dirt, the up air damage over time, spike him down to the ground, force a ground bounce. It was just so much.
Well, now we're tied 2-2 in the series, and looks like Red's going to be taking that initial volley with so much damage, especially on Fozzy. Caught in the rewind, at least. Might be able to set back up, and is taking this time trying to build up the shield. Shiro chasing down Fozzy with the help of Poro, but they won't be able to break Fozzy off the edge.
It's a great opening from Shiro so far, forcing Moi off to the side in burnout. They could potentially chase further if Poro was ready, but he was not. Steven's able to get the interrupt right now, but the damage so far really far in favor of red team. They also, in favor of blue team, and they have so much more kill power to begin with right now, so it's a little bit scary. If you're Fauzi and Wah, the Shaggy sidekick will be enough to secure the kill on Steven. Wah stuck off stage with no dodge meter. Wonder Woman trying to get the chase down, and the Shaggy up tilt forces them all the way to the left side of the stage, and Poro's still only at 43%.
Now completely in favor of blue. It feels like Shiro and Poro are going to take advantage, especially with that rage art, but Poro almost getting knocked out of the stage. Is going to stay up and use this time to build up some rage. Wah able to get at least one touch, but that's still Poro on rage. Fozzy not getting enough space. Shiro's just going to go for the 1-2-3 knockout, able to put him on match point, and not a single response from Red.
Here's the combo from Shiro to get that kill from Steven at 60, landing there, dash attack Sair. And now they're in such a prime spot to win this game. They have to kill either of the players at red right now. But Moi did a good job at not taking damage, which means both him and Fauzi have this whole stock to play with. Although they're taking a bit of damage right now. Weaken on the side of Steven. He's going to go all the way up to 50 off that. However, they're racking up damage onto Shiro, but you need to hurt Poro too. You can't just let him take nothing here. But this is a big opening. Downer from Fauzi forces Shiro off stage. The dirt from Morty starting to get weakened on Shaggy as well. Oh, but they get the kill on Wonder Woman. They reach the dodge. He reached the dodge from Poro, but he doesn't get the kill off of it. He's still in a really good spot. Oh, but the dash attack into the Sair from Wonder Woman will lead to the end of the game. And Shiro and Poro, they stop the reverse sweep. They stem the bleeding, and they win the set 3-2 to secure their spot in top 3.
What's for lunch?
Able to secure their spot in top 3, but honestly, what a comeback for Shiro and Fozzy. For Fozzy and Moi, sorry. But like, oh, so nice, but sadly, you called it right. They need to also focus on Poro. Poro was able to find that space, especially with that damage, still able to dodge through, and that provides Shiro an opportunity to get that side neutral in order to clear out the space on the arena and get that takedown on Moi. Has to be frustrating for them, but they at least place in top 4, and that's going to move us on to top 3 to lower finals.
These guys we've been watching are now going to go against Moises and Misty, who, if you've been paying attention in bracket, was the team that sent them to losers to begin with. They get the run back. They get to fight the bugs.
And either way, one of these teams are going to be going back to grand finals to face off against Jungle and Fire PZ. It's going to be a tight matchup, and we're still going to be best of 5 the entire way through. as Moises and Misty C are going to get ready to play. How do you anticipate Shiro and Poro are going to try to get this comeback against Moises and Misty?
What it really boils down to is you just can't let them get going. Moises and Misty, they're a team built on steam. If they get their combos going on you, they will blow you up. They're one of the most explosive teams in the game right now. And I mean, you just got to avoid that. They were struggling last time because Poro never really got the space to set up his rage moves. Shiro kept getting caught by jabs from bugs, lost his armor a couple times to them. And they were just taking so much damage off of every interaction. You just have to successfully stuff them out. Shaggy can sit back and throw sandwiches if he really needs to, if he feels like the game is slowing down. Wonder Woman can just play really floaty with Sayers and never put her into a spot where she's going to get comboed a lot. There's a lot of options and things they can do to handle these characters right now. But the question is will they be able to? Misty and Moises are very strong.
And just remembering from the very first match we got to see on stream, for Frost Esports at least, they played so well against Shiro and Poro and prevented those setup options. You have to imagine that Poro's going to probably play a little bit more aggressive in order to force that space to appear naturally in order to build up towards that rage art as we get ready for another best of 5.
Just waiting on the players to get ready right now, I believe.
I believe so as well. In the meantime, I believe, folks, we will be throwing up another prediction fairly soon between this matchup. So make sure you go ahead and put those points in between Moises and Misty C and Shiro and Poro. Overall, who do you think takes this series in this run back? Because I feel like Moises and Misty will have that momentum, but they've also just been on a break for quite some time while we're waiting on Shiro and Poro to make their way to lower finals.
Moises and Misty, the thing is their performance in winners, it was pretty strong, man. It was pretty dominating. What will determine the set is if Shiro and Poro just come up with a new game plan. What they were doing in winners clearly wasn't working. They kind of got messed up. But we'll see how it goes going into the set here. I'm hoping to see some new stuff from them. I really just need to see them not get caught by as many bugs and errors, because that final game of the winners set, I think they got caught by like 40. And it was like, at that point, you're just going to lose the game.
I'm inclined to agree. I know Moises and Misty want to make their way back up to finals. They want that run back against Jungle FPZ. They just have to first get over to the revenge story for Shiro and Poro. And yeah, just thinking it back, trying to avoid those neutral airs, trying to avoid taking up that much space. Maybe, hopefully, ideally, they'll be able to lock down bugs and try to prevent a lot of that airspace being taken. But I can't see them doing that really successfully, especially considering they haven't really had a time to build up towards that sort of defensive plan.
Well, they have a minute here to talk about it, which is nice. We saw, at least in the last set, they started every game a little bit differently. The first game they played slow. The second game they played super aggressive in their face. And the third game they kind of played like a middle ground type area. So they are willing to change things up at the very least. They're not just going to rinse and repeat the same style every time. It's just, the thing is the overarching plan they make going to be successful? And that's what it really boils down to. I want them to really also focus outside of the bug stuff. You cannot get hit by a landing nair from Moises. If you get hit by a landing nair from Moises, you get trapped in place for a long enough period of time where bugs can basically come over and combo you from anywhere on the stage if he IEDs into an air. And it's a big ask. It really is a big ask, considering the most recent patch and Steven having that increased air drift on Nair in particular. It means he's in a spot where he can succeed at that type of thing a lot easier. But it's a requirement. If you want to win, if you want to secure your spot into top 2, you can't let them get their big openings.
Yeah, ideally, they're going to be able to try to prevent that anti-air, but I guess the best way I'm going to try to put this is, I think Misty and Moises have a solid game plan going in. They need to be prepared for the adjustments that Shiro and Poro are going to be throwing at them, because going back to what you were saying before with the switch-ups, picking up speed, slowing down, trying to play around each other fairly well. And at some point, I imagine they're going to just play as tight as humanly possible. Poro is just going to be supporting Shiro that entire encounter.
Right.
And we are being told that we're going to be cutting to break in the meantime. So, folks, let's go ahead, stand up, get a stretch, and go grab some Hot Pockets, grab yourself some water, and we'll be back in just a few short moments. And folks, we are back in it with the Pocket League Frostborn Legends. We're heading back into the matchup between MultiVersus and Misty C versus Shiro and Poro. And now, after a shortened term, we're going to be able to see this matchup once again. It's going to be MultiVersus and Misty C. with the Steven and Bugs Bunny, while Shiro and Poro coming back with Wonder Woman and Shaggy combo. What do you expect to see coming into this, Mirror Man?
Right off the bat, I'm expecting to see Shiro frontline, Poro sit back, charge. That's what their default is, I feel like. And then once that doesn't work, they'll change it up. But I feel like they always want to stick it out to that, just to see how things go. Generally speaking, I think we're going to be seeing Shiro try to stay on to Misty a lot more than before. Right off the game, by the way, we see Poro sit back while Misty immediately comes at him with the tunnel, tries to force off the pressure so he can't go for the charge. Phenomenal start to the game from Misty right now. They got so much damage on both the players. On blue, he gets the double. On the red, he got the double nair, forces Shiro up high. They will try to do rate a dodge to the right, which they don't end up finding, but it's such a great start for the blue team.
It's really been fascinating to see. They have so much damage already done to Shiro and Poro, especially on that initial dive on Poro as well, who finally finds some space to try to build some rage, but that threat is gone immediately. Poro really high up there. Shiro as well is currently in a 1v1, but it's going to be Poro getting knocked out at first, and Shiro now on the edge, but Moises and Misty have stepped away, providing Shiro a chance to come back, and that's not going to be enough as Shiro gets knocked out as well. 2 in the lead, 3 in the lead for blue.
Misty is making things happen right now. All of these nairs forcing them over to the corner. Shiro and Poro can't even seem to find a way in to this set to even begin, man. Moises 104 at the edge. They need to get this kill if they want a chance back into the game, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Misty reads a dodge from Poro, reads a dodge in again from Shiro. He's just catching every dodge over and over again. These jabs, these nairs. And Moises is also just doing a phenomenal job of every time Misty gets an opening, he hits it with a nair. I think Shiro got bubbled near the top last time, and the bubble actually took him off the top. And that was, I mean, that's a 4 stock to start off the set.
Honestly, I really thought they were going to dive in more on Moises, but recognizing the damage from Misty immediately shifted focus. But Misty able to stall out for a time, and that has to be frustrating for Shiro and Poro as well, because they had so many opportunities to get these knockouts, and but just couldn't take away any stock from Moises and Misty. What do you think was the deciding factor for this first game?
They just didn't shut either of them down. They just didn't win neutral. They had there was 3 different times their game where Misty stood still and nared or jabbed, stood still, and either Shiro or Poro rolled into it. Whatever they're doing to just make sure Shiro and Poro can't play the game they want to play is just working. No dodge attacks are working. They just need to stuff them out preemptively. I think I need to see more stairs and neutral from Shiro. I think I need to see Poro maybe play a bit more floaty, less on the ground. But just in general, they just need to, I mean, it really just boils down to it. If you don't win neutral, you won't win the game. Like there, once again, we see Poro immediately get jumped on for trying to charge rage at the start from Misty with the immediate tunnel. He takes 50 damage for his troubles. The same thing happened last game. There was like no adjustment made there.
Yeah, Poro needs to stop stepping back so far because he's going to get dove on immediately. And now Shiro currently fighting against Steven and Bugs Bunny has them both locked up, but not enough as Hitstone has ended. Moises now chasing in after Poro, and there's a pie coming out from Misty, missile up, and not able to get a confirmation. That's enough to do some heavy damage on Poro, and that's gonna be a knockout once again. Poro first to go out once more, but they're gonna fight back, able to get the drop on Misty.
Bouncy safe, about to come down on that right side of the tunnel. You got to be scared. Shiro doesn't want to engage with it, so he's playing slow over on the right. Manages to lasso his teammate to safety, but he's potentially in a bad spot on his own over here on the right platform at 120%. He is in burnout, but it doesn't really matter. Poro just trying to distract on the left side of the stage, gets a bit of an opening onto Misty, forced to drift off stage, but I mean, honestly, it looks like Misty and Moises are just ignoring Shiro. He's just been stuck at 120, like, let's just start racking up damage on Poro. No need to force something on the Wonder Woman, who's just kind of playing slow over there. This little shield bash from Shiro, gonna force them both over to the right, gets an up special to knock away the bugs as well. Now Shaggy has rage move to come in, but he does whiff it. He goes too high, straight above Misty's head. And right now, I mean, Misty, he's trying to wrap up the 3rd stock in this game, but if they get damage onto Shiro, they're in such a good spot right now. Not gonna let Poro charge this rage off stage. Rocket to protect himself on the way back for the recovery, but the sidekick off the Steven shield will be enough for Poro to take that stock. And the question is can Shiro hold on to this stock for long enough? How much damage does he take before Poro goes down? Right now, he hasn't taken any. Only sitting at 30%. You got to start doing some damage to Misty, though. Nice little up tilt. Doesn't get the dodge read with the Sair. And Poro on the left side, able to finally find the final hit onto Moises. This is a chance for Shiro and Poro to get on the board. You have Shaggy rage move, but he just does it right into the armor break of the Rocket.
well-timed rocket from Misty, but now it's on burnout. It's going to be chased down by Poro. Poro's going to get the final knockout with that knee, and they're going to take game 2 in their favor. Quick adjustments from Poro. I feel like the deciding factor to me was being able to effectively use that sidekick out on the very edge of the screen to build up that rage art, and then finally able to break through, and that led to that initial charge. Caused a little bit of panic on Moises and Misty, but Shiro, being ignored, was able to utilize that time fairly well.
All right, well, we saw a bit of an adjustment that game. They didn't have... I mean, honestly, I don't even know if they really adjusted the game plan that much. It feels like they just won neutral a lot more. They didn't just get blown up by Misty every single time they got hit. Moises didn't get as many big landing nair openers as he did before. I think generally I'm seeing a lot more willingness to ledge stall from Shiro and Poro. Whenever one of them is in a bad spot, they're just deciding, hey, let's just sit here for a minute, let my teammate come help, rather than trying to force their way back into it immediately, which I like to see. Here we go, we got the bug snares, trying to catch them over to the right. Steven Bomb and Watermelon Steven going to be a lot of pressure for Shiro and Poro to get around. Shiro takes quite a bit of damage on the way back in, but the advantage sequence onto Moises means it's actually not that bad for him. It's the up special onto Misty as well. Dash attack to force Moises over to the left side. Do they get the edge guard? Downward sandwich throw from Shaggy is not enough, but neither is the rocket into up air. Poro's going to hold on to his first stock.
Shiro nearly getting knocked out from Steven, but not able to fully commit to the bit. Has to focus on Poro. Enough damage done to Shiro will at least get that first stock taken away on red. Poro, in rage, is waiting for a chance to strike. Is building up time. Has a sandwich. Goes for the throw. That's armor breaking. Able to take out... not Moises. That was actually Watermelon Steven once again. But Moises coming back in. High damage in the moment. Might be in danger as Poro doesn't have rage and instead has to go for a sandwich.
Ooh, instant pop on the rage on the side of Poro. Counter hits Misty. Actually forces him up to the top blast zone right now. Misty low on resources. Use both dodges right now. Poro can find the up special, but he does whiff it. But he finds the kill onto both of them anyway, with the up special onto Steven and the downer onto Bugs. Poro, the last person holding on to the stock right now, trying to make as much value out of it as possible before he goes on to the final one, and he is making it work. Rage move onto the Steven. Small opening onto the Bugs. He's caught by a Nair Sayer, but I mean, that's enough damage for that to be worth it. We're all the way up to 40% on Steven, and a chance for more with his rage move.
Yeah, Steven with some quick heals, able to bring it back down, but not enough. Currently on burnout, as well as tries to touch, can't avoid the sandwich, can't avoid the up, and Poro will clarify.
I can't believe that sandwich healed. He was at what, 80%? 3 stacks a weekend plus the sandwich throw just kills off the top there.
Yeah.
You almost never see sandwich throw kill off the top like that. At least a vertical throw for it, because a lot of Shaggies will throw it across the map and it can still kill that way. But usually when you throw the sandwich up, it doesn't. It normally doesn't do that. It's a rare situation where it actually comes to fruition, and Poro just aware of it. Takes him off the top.
It felt like a torpedo sub with the way that sandwich threw up and just took out Moises so quickly, especially on that weekend as well. Very impressive run. Now they're back on match point, still in their favor, looking to get into grand finals. Moises and Misty's need to find a quick response, but they're going to get mixed up the entire time. Shiro taking a bunch of the damage, but still dishing out even more with the help of Poro.
Pretty decent start for Misty and Moises so far. Already got Shiro up to 80%, and he used the down tilt, so he doesn't have that charge. But Poro able to get some rage on deck right now. Throws it a little bit high with that side special, but it forces Misty up from the edge in burnout, which means Shiro has a chance to push this advantage. This little dodge read from Misty, but it's not going to be enough to get anything big converted right now. Question is, can they get this kill onto Shiro while he's in the corner? Rocket's going to protect the center. He has a tunnel set up air to force Poro off stage, but Shiro is making some openings of his own happen, and the up air nair knockback stack between both the players on blue. Shiro is the first one to lose his stock right now. Being said, they are pretty close to taking both the stocks on blue, but Shaggy will lose his as well to the nair Sayer from Bugs. Misty making some things happen right now. Jumping up to the top, setting down a safe. No, it doesn't look like it's gonna get anything off of it, really.
Would be edge for Poro, but that's enough to try to bring focus back onto Misty, and that's gonna be Moises able to get knocked out. Now only one in favor of red, but it's 2-1. Misty with heavy damage on them. I'm trying to find some space, goes underground, hopefully break away from Poro, who's on burnout. Moises diving in on Shaggy, tries to keep him down. Is going to smash down and get that dare to work in his favor.
A great find from Moises. And now Shiro and Poro are incredibly on the back foot right now. Got to get through a whole extra stock, even if they manage to kill the Steven here. You got to get some damage onto Misty somehow. With that up air out of the tunnel, Misty not even going to give it to him. Just stays in their face, say, "Hey, I can just get this kill. I don't even need to worry about it." So evens up the set count at 2-2. 1 to go. Going into a game 5 to see who's going to get their chance in grand finals.
What's been really impressive is in the past couple of rounds for the set, it's felt like one team has been considerably in favor, just taking momentum for themselves and really pushing the momentum forward. I think the most surprising play was still that sandwich from Poro to take out Moises in the previous game for game 3. But now going to game 5, it's going to be really tough to see who makes that adjustment and how they can take advantage. Moises is just finding his spot so well against Poro, though.
For sure. That's kind of just been, I mean, honestly, we're talking about like what is the determining factor in a lot of these games so far. That game, it didn't really feel like Poro got much done, honestly. He didn't really get any big rage move conversions. He didn't really get any of the early kills you need to see him get. He was getting stuffed out a bit by the bugs as well.
Yeah, and what's been very impressive is honestly just Moises able to take advantage. And I love Shiro's playstyle just really getting into the mix, but the total combination just being too much for Shiro. And again, trying to find that space for Poro to get that rage art. But I feel like Moises and Missy will take game 5 just because of this momentum shift in their favor. We haven't really seen too much of a deciding factor in that last game, and one side being able to dominate in the previous 2 games before that. What do you think is going to be the major thing that Moises and Misty C need to have on the field, how they need to play in order to get their run back against Jungle and PRZ?
I think they really need to make sure that they just aren't getting blown up by Shaggy Rage. I think if Poro gets 2 or 3 rage moves this game, it's over. It's really such a game decider because they've been proving over and over that if Poro doesn't get his big stuff off, they're doing so well. They're winning neutral a lot. They're getting more team combos going. They're getting more damage potential. They're getting earlier kills across the board. But whenever they have weakened stacks on them, or whenever Shiro gets forces someone into burnout near the edge, those are like they're 2 big things. Whenever those things happen, that's how they've been losing. And I mean, as long as they're avoiding that, really, I think they're in a prime spot to get the run back.
And I think Shiro's done an effective job of trying to get anyone on red side on the blue side to be in burnout. The overall issue so far has been just converting on that kill, converting on that loss of dodge, and missing those iframes. And so it'd be nice to see Poro being able to step in, being able to convert and add to that damage as well. But that rage art is such an important factor for their offense. Continuously being shut down by Moises is going to be such a huge detriment for them. So game 5, the big things I'm going to look for is, as you said, we're going to see for those rage art conversions and how well they can force Moises and Misty to be on burnout as we start game 1. Moises already low on the dodge meter.
Right off the bat, though, but I will say on the side of Red Team, even though they burned out a lot of dodge meter to do it, they instantly were ready for Poro to charge off stage. Misty instantly in position, sets up the tunnel. And I mean, the damage-wise is looking pretty good in their favor so far. They have both the people on red split right now. Decide to jump on Shiro, and Shiro is going to be able to get through. I don't know about that decision. That just let Poro get a rage move for free. But will he manage to find the mark? And he doesn't. So the jump onto Shiro ends up being a really good option. Poro gets no value out of whatever he's been doing. Misty, 40 seconds into the game, has not been hit a single time. Finally gets 1 Wonder Woman up special, but it's only 8 damage, man. They're in such a good spot.
Yeah, so far they're able to just edge guard, and now both Shiro and Poro both on the same side, but Poro's able to pick up the rage art. That might be enough to be the deciding factor in this run to get some stock, able to take out Watermelon Steven, but at the end of the day, Moises and Misty diving in on Shiro will get the first stock, but Poro still with that space to pick up rage art. He's going to try and get that sidekick on Misty, will not convert on the run.
If Shiro manages to find this kill on Moises over in the corner, it could potentially be large, but Misty on the right side just takes out Poro with an air conversion once again. Always in the right position, always hits the follow-up. And like they're honestly starting to run with the game a little bit right now. They're up 2 stocks, they're up a lot of percent. They're about to lap them, honestly. if these combos keep going, they force Shiro over to the side. He's getting near death percent. Horror's the one you have to have stock tanking now, but he's already hurt himself. Oh, and it's just so good for Misty and Moises. They finally, Shiro, the reversal dare he was so aware of it. It was such a great dare, but he's still so far behind. Up air from Misty kills him off the top, and now it's just Shiro forced to stall in the blast zone. And Moises just comes down, he just duffs him. It's up with the doink. Removes him from the game. Moises and Misty get their run back in grands.
I really want to see someone take that clip and just add a boink sound effect, a bonk sound effect to Shiro at the very end. What a play from Moises, able to get that final down on Shiro. And great anticipation as well from both squads, and that they were trying to play so well around Poro, able to pick up a few kills here and there. But at the end of the day, Misty and Moises just stood out and stood above. And with that, they're going to be heading off to grand finals with a chance to go for a bracket reset as well.
They get their run back. The run back versus Jungle and FPZ, which, I mean, we watched winners. The longer that set went on, the better it felt for Jungle and FPZ. Let's be honest here. I need to see Moises and Misty. They need to start strong and they need to stay strong. If they fall behind again in this set, I don't think it's going to go well for them.
I'm inclined to agree. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we saw a repeat of winners finals where Jungle and FPZ, they lose the first round and then they say, okay, here's how we're going to do that momentum shift. Here's how we're going to find more space for Black Adam. And then they start taking a win after win after win and end on a 3-1. However, I also have to give it to Misty and Moises. They felt better as we watched them progress through this matchup. They felt better as the set went on. So ideally, what I would like to see from them is a bit more of what we saw between that matchup against Shiro and Poro, just trying to lock up and prevent one of the other players from being able to get started on their motion, able to try to find any kind of effectiveness, especially with Black Adam with that way to float through the air the entire time.
I mean, if we see Misty throw away a game again by jumping off stage versus the Black Adam, I'm going to be incredibly sad. That was it was a decision of all time, to be sure. That being said, I mean, they showed signs of life in the winter set, and they had that one game they won. They had the other game that they should have won, but kind of threw away. And while the other ones weren't particularly close, I mean, I will say they saw the most success when they decided we're not going to fight Jungle, we're just going to double bully FPZ. That's where they received all of their success. I'm curious as to whether they remember that. It has been a little while since they played their grand set. I'm curious as to if they're going to continue with that plan or if they're going to try something new entirely.
If they play it smart, I think they're going to try it for the first round and then adjust immediately afterward, because what Jungle did was never leave FPZ alone. FPZ had basically like a child harness around him, and the person holding the harness was Jungle the entire time, would never leave FPZ out alone. And then on top of that, with Last Stand as well, able to survive so much longer. So they need to be able to overcome that Last Stand, try to get that knockout on Jungle when they can, but find their timing for it. And if that fails, they need to dive on FPZ as soon as humanly possible.
For sure. This set was one of the few sets where we've seen more unique stages. We did see Scooby's No Roof, I believe, on the stage in Winners. I'm curious to see as to whether Moises and Misty will consider going back to these more non-conventional counter picks in future games in the set, if they go down games. That being said, maybe they don't even get to that point. Maybe they just win. Maybe they just win out. Nice little 6-0, you know?
That would be the best case scenario for them. And just to remind folks as well, no matter what, Misty and Moises are at least guaranteed to be a part of that prize pool, just like Shiro and Poro as well, who are walking out with $450 split between them. Whoever takes second place here is going to be coming out with, I believe, $600 total. And then, of course, first prize is going to be $1,200, all brought to you by Hot Pockets, our wonderful sponsors. Make sure to grab and go with the best choice in the world. Get yourself
winning this grand finals is a nice little $300 in the pocket for you and your teammate each. You want to win this one. This is not the one to lose. You don't come this far just to get second. But we are getting into the game right now. Game 1 will be on Skyflat. I'm really interested to see what the start is. I'm curious if Misty and Moises just decide to jump FPZ right away. I'm thinking Misty's going to start with Tunnel, just regardless, because I think Tunnel is pretty good against Black Adam bubble setup, because you can set one in the bubble and makes him not want to sit in there. That being said, you never know. You never know how he's going to start.
Never truly know, but it's still going to be a best of 5, and if Moises and Misty are able to win out this set, they have to do it again in a bracket reset. That means we will have an immediate run back for this matchup in order to win. And it looks like Misty immediately went for the exact strat, going for the rabbit hole, trying to set up that tunnel, but not going to be enough as Jungle dives in. And Jungle's going to be taking the brunt of damage as FPZ is going to be able to survive so far with nothing against him until now.
It's actually a pretty curious opening because they actually decided to double team onto Jungle at the start, not FPZ. They set up the tunnel, they saw FPZ in his bubble on the left, they said, hey, we're just going to ignore that guy. They just jumped Jungle on them center stage. I mean, it worked out. They got the first stock, less than 30 seconds on it, and they're basically even in terms of damage with FPZ, just with the residual. So they just basically got a stock, just completely earned for free.
And Jungle currently at halfway, and FPZ, no dodge meter left, currently on burnout. 101 won't be enough for Moises, who has to stay up in the corner. Is trying to get away from any kind of edge guard from Jungle, who will get the knockout on Misty. Now tied 1-1. FPZ at 101, still within the bubble, able to protect, but not enough. And that's going to knock out Moises as well. It's 2-1 in favor of blue.
Moises actually does something pretty cool that I want to talk about. So you saw when he set up that little shield that he was setting up on in the blast zone? In a recent patch, they added a mechanic where if you roll off of roll or waveland off of ledges, you'll go super fast flying off of them. He's actually using that off of his own platforms to give himself really rapid movement to cover half the stage.
Wow. We just saw FPZ get knocked out. Now it's 2-2. Jungle, no dodge meter. Looks like it's going to be knocked out as well. Quick response. Moises and Misty trying to take game 1 in the moment.
Right now, it's looking like it's a stock lead for the red team, but they have to get both kills here from blue. This is a really good start for it. These bug snares into the Steven Nair, into the rocket. It's 38 damage on the Jungle, 114 on FPZ. Misty does lose his life, but Moises was the one playing stock tank anyway. Great armor break from the side of Jungle. Gets the rising Nair onto the Steven, and the protection. Misty just hits the upper.
Beautiful upper from Misty.
For a break. Nice work, everyone.
What a beautiful upper from Misty in order to clarify to get that game 1 win. But Moises as well able to stall for time using the bubble and then trying to break through in the air, trying to break apart Jungle and FPZ in order to set up Misty for that return.
And I just love the game start. I just love the game start. See FPZ sitting in his bubble, just say, let's not even worry about it. They didn't do the full stage tunnel, they did a half stage tunnel, kept it near the Wonder Woman, just comboed her off of it, basically to death right off the start. What a great start. What a great opening. We might see the same thing here right again. Does look like they're opting to go for Jungle a little bit, but they changed targets midway through. Nothing huge this time, nothing huge, but they didn't really get hurt themselves for it either.
And nothing too punishing in the moment, but I do love that shift from Jungle to FPZ, trying to take advantage of that initial setup. But now Jungle's trying to down air Misty. Misty able to get away from the edge, has some space, but that's not going to be enough. So they're going to focus on FPZ while Jungle's coming out of the edge.
Jungle's been kind of stuck on this edge for a little while now. He is in burnout, which is a really bad spot to be in against bugs off stage, but Misty misses the confirm, but this is going to get a little bit weird now. You have Steven doing landing nairs, trying to get this confirm onto Jungle, who's still in burnout after all this time. He finally gets out of it. He finally gets a little bit of armor to protect himself off the edge, and for the first time in 30 seconds, I think Jungle actually can play the game.
Yeah, Jungle's out of it for so long and still has the most damage, but we'll now have the least amount of damage after that knockout from Misty. It's going to provide an opening, and FPZ currently feeling the pressure. No dodge meter left in burnout, but it's going to focus on Moises, who's getting pushed further and further away towards the edge, comes back towards center. Misty on the edge will be not knocked out at all. I thought that was a knockout on one of them at least, as Black Adam comes back up top to support Jungle.
Great double Sarah from Steven, forcing them both to the side. Sandwich getting in the mix for a little bit of extra damage too. Why not? Dude, the double kill from Moises. The up air on goes high, goes low. Up air on Wonder Woman, down air on Black Adam. And this is a 3-stock lead for Moises Misty to start off game 2. I'm telling you, man, they go so crazy on hit. You just can't let them get their openings.
They really found that opening, and it was about to be a perfect 4-stock game, but That's going to end up with Misty getting dropped, and that's going to provide an opening to tackle FPZ. No! Moises gets knocked out, so now it's just going to be Misty between Jungle and FPC. Moises comes back just in time, goes in, tries to challenge. That shield is out. FPZ gets pulled back by Wonder Woman. Won't be able to find security in that time as FPZ gets caught out by Watermelon Steven.
It's just it, man. The lead was too dominating. They took 3 stocks uncontested. They finally lose both of theirs. But I mean, by that point, you just need 1 hit to win. Misty catches the jump back with the up air on the side of Jungle. And I mean, that's a 2-0 lead. That's a 2-0 lead to start Grands. Only 1 game away from an instant reset.
I always have to ask this question whenever we're on the precipice of a bracket reset. Do you think Jungle and FPC are doing it for the content?
No. There's too much money on the line to do it for the content, I think. If you win, this is extra. It's an extra $600. No one's doing this for the content, man. No one in this game is that content brained.
It is the end of the month. Rent is due, folks. So I just depressed myself a little bit. But Jungle and FPZ need to start mounting a comeback. I love that mid-tunnel setup from Misty every single time. And then that shift in focus as well, pulling Jungle close, trying to focus on Jungle, and then pulling them away. Once again, that mid-arena setup from Misty with the tunnel. Not enough to pull Jungle away, though.
All right, lightning grab across the map does miss on the side of FPZ to start this off, but Jungle finally getting something going for the first time this set, throwing out a bunch of dash attacks, hitting Steven 3 times, Bug 2 times. They just aren't able to outspace it. I mean, this is a great start for FPZ and Jungle, basically taking 1 stock uncontested, good damage onto Misty already. Jungle has found the move of his choice, apparently. He is dash attacking. Oh.
I'm just hearing my FGC coach just saying medium chop, in the same tone that Jungle is just dash attacking across the side, taking down the entire ground away from both Macy's and Misty.
It's a fantastic burst option. It's one of the few moves in the game that's like a grounded burst option that can just straight up beat Bugs from there. I think he's throwing, like you see it right there. He's just throwing it out to stuff Misty on repeat, just making things happen. Both of them still on their first stock. FPZ stuck stalling off stage a little bit, but we've seen the situation before. Misty can't find these on FPZ usually. And I mean, he's just going to be able to make it back. Goes with the landing snare. Moises is able to punish, but I mean, Jungle is going to lose the stock to this upper from the Bugs. But the damage lead is so massive at this point. Jungle's going to make it back right now. Tries to throw a snare to hit Moises. Doesn't matter. Safe is ruined. And Black Adam's just clapping. They found their good moves, apparently. I've seen a lot of claps from FPZ this game. I've seen a lot of dash attacks from Jungle. They're just making it work.
They really are. They're bringing this momentum back in their favor, and I feel like Misty and Moises both trying to recover and not enough. Moises getting knocked out. That's going to put them into the final stock as Misty's going to get knocked out from FPZ and Jungle. Working in combination on that play.
All right. If I'm Moises and Misty, do I even notice how many times Jungle just dash attack there? Honestly, it might make me mad. I get hit by dash attack from Wonder Woman like 8 times in a row. In the back of my head, there's something like this guy. You know what I mean? That kind of thing can get to you, especially because that's by far their most dominant win in both sets. I think like that was a clean 3 stock.
I can feel like Moises and Misty are saltier than a entire basket of McDonald's fries, because like you could not really prepare for that, and you don't really think at this tier that people are going to jump and continue that attack pattern the entire time, but yet Jungle continued to side dash and get that attack, get that push off of Misty, and force Misty to have to reset. And so we're going to get a map shift here in the meantime. How do you even counter someone who is spamming a dash attack like that?
The best answer on both of these characters is just when you think they're going to dash attack, you float above it. Both these characters have a float that they can do to slow themselves down in the air. So if you think they're going to dash attack, you start floating above it, and as they dash attack under you fastball Nair onto them. With both Steven and Bugs can do that. It's a pretty good counter. Bugs can also Sair onto it, but generally Nair will get you more often than not. But that just wasn't really what was happening, because Jungle wasn't using it when they were on the ground and they needed to jump. He was using it when they were landing on him to beat their aerials. And that's I think what the note is that Misty and Moises have to mix up their aerial landing timings a bit more, and they don't want to get hit by the dash attack as often. Like there, Bugs is in the air, hit him with a dash attack, like over and over. We've seen 4 dash attacks in a row from Jungle right now. 5, 6. I mean, it's working. It's working. This is grand finals. It is absolutely a strategy. It's one of her best moves at anti-airing a lot of things in the game that you wouldn't expect her to beat otherwise. She low profile. She low profile. The little one shows that Sayers sends Misty over to the side. He is stuck in burnout on the right side of the stage. Forces out all the dodges. Dodges the sandwich throw. I mean, in jungle, he's making the most of it. I'm telling you.
And now it's just FPZ 1v1ing Moises and trying to take him out. Watermelon's even gone, and Misty just trying to avoid these dash attacks at this point. Now uses a really long tunnel. I'm still waiting to see at the start of the game to see that tunnel go inside the bubble, as I believe that's Jungle getting knocked out. Now 1-to-1, trying to mistime those landings on the air attack, but Moises is going to get caught in the bubble. It's going to get slapped out, but not enough. Able to find some space back in the center of the arena. Still heavy damage on Moises. Trying to get back in, wants to reset, pulls in Bugs, but it's not going to be enough as FPZ's on the opposite side, able to get that pushback.
It's been phenomenal play from Moises so far, holding on to the stock at death percent for such a long period of time. Confirms into the kill on FPZ, gets a bunch of damage on Jungle, eventually gets taken off the top from Jungle right there. But now it's basically a battle between FPZ and Moises. Who is going to take more damage first? Who is going to be the stock tank? Right now, Jungle loses his life. Backswing from FPZ keeps Bugs Nair away. Jungle is trying to make something happen with the aggression right now. Gets caught by the safe. Either him or FPZ can be the target now. This little down air from FPZ into an air, stuffs them out on repeat, but this is a big opening for Moises. He has them trapped under the roof, racking up a bunch of damage on Jungle. He's in burnout. The nair from Steven holds him in place. Bugs hits the upper. And Misty and Moises, I mean, they started the game out pretty badly. I'm not gonna lie. They got hit by a few too many dash attacks, but towards the end of the game, they just didn't let Jungle breathe.
They really didn't, and finally getting that last knockout, it's going to set a bracket reset as well. Moises and Misty able to push past Jungle FPZ, and now they have to do it once again. But now, again, I'm bringing back that strategy about the tunnel being inside the bubble, but the use of the shields as well, able to lock down Jungle and FPZ in an area that makes it more difficult for them to move around. What should Jungle and FPZ do for this next match?
Do you want my real answer? The dash attack the dash attack 6 times in a row strategy is funny, but it's probably not the move. I think it is good as an anti-air option against a lot of what Steven and Bugs like doing to you, but it's probably not good to do it 20 times in a row. You're not getting that much damage off of it if you're hitting it that many times, because move scaling, it does less damage the more times in a row you hit it. But also just on top of that, I mean, one, it's funny and it might give you a mental advantage, but like, mainly, what are you getting off of it, right? You're hitting the dash attack, you're resetting the neutral, you're doing, what, 8 to 10 damage, and then you're just going back to neutral again. If you mess up once and Bugs hits you with a single landing nair, you might just take like 50. So it's just the risk reward is like really not skewed in the Wonder Woman's favor when she's going for something like that. And she has other options. She could potentially punish those moves instead. You know how I was talking about earlier, how if you know someone's going to go into you with something somewhat linear, you could just jump above it and aerial it. Wonder Woman can try to punish the end lag of a Steven nair or a Bugs nair with an IED nair of her own. That's a huge opening she can do. That being said, Jungle knows this. He's better at Wonder Woman than I am. But generally, I just want to see them get bigger openings, because it feels like they're trying to beat Moises and Misty by nickel and diming them to death. And I feel like it's too easy to get exploded in that kind of situation.
I'm inclined to agree. I feel like they allow Moises and Misty to take so much time for themselves too, as Misty is going to get pushed out by FPZ. Nice little up air in order to take that first stock. Jungle's going to be trying to push off Moises, who has burnout at the moment, but FPZ now getting locked up. Moises pushing him off the edge. It's Misty trying to go for a down air. Instead, side. Misty missing the touch on Jungle. It's going to buy enough time to provide FPZ a knockout on Moises.
It's been a phenomenal game for them so far. Jungle has just been doing a good job at keeping Misty away from FPZ. FPZ got a really early double dodge read, double forward air off the top from Black Adam. One of the early, if you get dodge reads on Black Adam, it's one of the earliest potential kill options in the game. It's the first time we've really seen him get one. Great time to do it as soon as you get the set through the set reset. You know, like this is the time to pull up, time to make things happen. Really, right now though he's still holding on to his first stock at 70%. They've taken 2 stocks off of Misty already. We have Moises in burnout in the top last zone. I mean, this is looking like a free start to set 2 for Jungle and FPZ. Big turnaround.
And they have the momentum behind them, not the damage at the moment as jungle gets taken out, but still that threat is there. I think that mountain's going to be insurmountable to climb for Moises and Misty, as Misty's in burnout. Moises trying to help out best he can, but not enough. FPZ getting locked up off to the side. Watermelon Steven right next to him goes for the knockout. Watermelon Steven coming in clutch.
They're actually doing so good against jungle right now that they're almost starting to bring this game back a little bit. One big combo on FPZ, and suddenly this is getting a little bit scary for the blue team. Jungle taking the Nair up air from Steven, basically going to be forced into death percent off of any strong opening, able to stuff the safe right there. I mean, one person on the side of Misty and Moises is all that's necessary in order for FPZ in jungle to take the game. Misty's forced into the top blast zone right now. He is going to be able to make it down though, and this is a tunnel for pressure onto FPZ on this ledge guard sequence. Landing there from Moises, gets the kill onto jungle. This is your chance to beat up FPZ, but he does make it to the other side of the stage, and he stuffs out Moises on the approach. Question is who are jungle and FPZ going to go for? They decide to go for Misty, catch him, clip him with the dare in the corner. They don't throw the lead away. But that game ended up being a little bit closer than it should have been, considering how dominating it was at the start.
Absolutely, and I think they made the right call too to dive in on Misty, who was on the edge. Misty just making a slight mistake, coming back up a bit too high and getting caught off guard. Can't really be protected in that moment too, because I think the shield was currently on cooldown, so Moisey's not able to help out in that moment. But Jungle and FPZ almost dropped that game one in the bracket reset, and that became very dangerous for them. Even after the very impressive run, I thought they were going to get a 4-stock win. However, they got a little bit too caught up, and Moises and Misty able to pull it together, bring it closer than it should have been.
All right, going into game 2 here, I'm curious to see what the strategy is. FPZ starting with the bubble as always. I think this is the first game we see where Misty's actually using the tunnel to pressure the bubble instead of using it to pressure the Wonder Woman. Not literally wanting FPZ to get this camp set up over on the left, but FPZ, these rising dares, punishing the portal 3 times in a row. 2 kicks on the bugs, 2 kicks on the Steven. I mean, it's just a great start for FPZ, but jungle in the meantime has been taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, jungle's been fighting 1v1 against Misty. Well, actually 2v1 if we count Watermelon Steven. And that ended up costing jungle that first stock, but it's going to be payback as Misty gets dropped as well. And now with that shield rattling around, Moises trying to fight for his life, tries to dodge the dash, but not enough. Jungle gets past the safe, is going to try and go once again, tunnel live from Misty, but it's not going to be enough. Moises also in danger zone, about to get pushed out, but not enough from the dash attack from jungle on Misty. It's not going to break either side as FPZ finds some space finally.
Right, nice little up special from jungle to secure the kill onto Steven. Catches him at the apex of the move. Right now, though, both people on red, they're trying to find these kills, even at the stock count. They managed to find the one in FPC, but we're basically even in this game. Jungle and Misty both getting pretty close to death. Nice little opening from FPZ onto Moises, though. You have the Steven in burnout off stage. You could potentially make something big happen here. Nice little 40 damage. Dash attack from Wonder Woman. They're keeping the pressure up onto the Steven. 60% on him. He's not going to lose his stock, but this isn't really that good when that's your stock tank. Neutral area for Black Adam and side special from Wonder Woman. This isn't looking too good.
It's not looking great. Jungle still with that space at the moment. It's going to pick up more damage on Steven. Steven trying to break away. FPZ not being touched that much, and as soon as I say that, Misty able to get a few punches in. That's not going to be enough. Jungle gets knocked out, so it's going to be FPZ. They need to dive on him immediately, but it's not going to have enough time as Jungle comes back in, provides some armor, trying to give that shield buff up.
FPZ kind of forced to stall right now. Gets the nice little down air, floats up in the corner, gets above both their heads. The downer down to the ground, dash attack from Jungle, puts a 1-2 combo, knocked off the side. Jungle and FPZ only 1 game away from taking this grand finals.
And this once again makes me believe that FPZ and Jungle are doing it for the content, but regardless, great chance to regather and strengthen their bonds. It feels like Misty and Moises are trying to change up their opener, and using that tunnel at least got them out of the bubble, but wasn't really enough to change the game plan for FPZ and Jungle, because FPZ anticipated the bumble and immediately would just counter every time either Steven or Bugs were inside the tunnel trying to pop in and pop out, just immediately down air on them.
This for the content narrative. This only works if this goes game 5. If we're about to see a reverse 3-0 and then they win, then I'll believe you that it's for the content. All right, great open. I mean, currently on pace for that right now. This is a great start for Misty and Voices. 100 damage on jungle in the first 20 seconds. They're chasing FPZ all the way to the corner as well. 80% on the Black Adam. It's looking pretty good right now. Misty has to be careful. He doesn't get his dodge caught here. FPZ tries to read the dodge out. Misty gives him the dodge in, so he isn't going to lose his stock. But right now, FPZ still stuck in a bad spot off stage. I think he used both of his dodges, so this is going to be a free confirm from Bugs. Sandwich into Nair into up air. Keeping the damage going, and he catches FPZ with the dare on the respawn as well. This is such a good opening for Red.
Moises did so much damage to jungle once jungle came back in, just getting around and able to effectively dodge even while jungle's trying to fight for their life. But now up air from jungle, able to catch Misty. Misty dropping the safe. It's on the platform. That's a free sandwich on the ground, but Misty now in a fight with jungle cannot survive. Moises fighting for their life. Misty being pushed out. It's going to give a chance for FPZ, but FPZ will whiff and cannot confirm on Misty.
They're just trying to take this as far as they can. Moises and Misty still both holding onto their first stocks. Here's a great dodge from Misty. Gets out of the way of the Sarah from the Wonder Woman. He's just holding the stage, fighting the 1v2 while Steven shields off. Finally going to be able to get a kill onto Moises right now on the side of FPZ. But it's too little too late, man. They're both already at 100 on their second stocks.
Incredible use of shield from Moises in order to provide Bugs that chance, and now FPZ getting knocked out, and it's gonna be game 3 in favor of Moises and Misty.
The content narrative, it's continuing, it's happening. This game's gonna go down to the wire. Moises and Misty are gonna win with a rocket up air kill at 50, despite them having been losing the whole game. And then game 5 is gonna be an absolute snap. No, game 5 isn't even gonna be content. Game 5, jungle FPZ, just 4 stock or something for the content.
Really?
They're actually just holding back the whole time. They're like, all right, I need my money. I want to go to the McDonald's later.
They're only using
actually, they want to go buy some. They want to go buy some. They want to go buy some hot pockets. You know?
Yeah. $1,200, $600 worth of hot pockets for just splitting that.
That's a lot of hot pockets.
That's a lot of hot pockets. That's my entire college meal that I've had for like 3 months in a row. Going into game 4 now, Tunnel at the midfield. It's going to provide an opportunity, and FPZ can't really cut off Misty. But Moisey is able to take that fight to jungle, get some impressive damage, but jungle able to catch both Misty and Moisey's. And now Moisey's trying to get away from the top of the stage.
Jungle's out of everything, jungle's out of everything, jungle's out of everything. They just hunted him down. He used all of his dodges, he used all of his specials. He had no jumps left. They were just able to run at him out there, and there's nothing he could do.
An impressive start. This could very well bring it back, but Moisey's taking a lot of damage from FPZ. Now jungle going into dive. Jungle's going to focus on FPZ. Moisey's trying to get a little bit more. Moisey's smart use of the shield, tries to get around. Misty taking flight. Moisey's gets knocked out, and so does Misty.
The double clap on the side of Black Adam. FPZ doing a phenomenal job in this match so far. 1 minute in, only 19% on him. Secured both of the first kills as well. He's also racking up damage. It's not even like he's not participating. And this is huge from Jungle. The double pop-up off the Wonder Woman jab. And now it's a nice parry for Misty, but Wonder Woman instantly in position to punish it. And I mean, this is looking so good right now from for Jungle and FPZ. Just trying to make some things happen. Great side special from Jungle off the Black Adam rising. The read from FPZ onto the Steven as well. Double down air, forcing them to the side. And dude, they're going so crazy right now. They basically have to blow up Jungle on this stock if they want to win this. Double Sarah from Misty. Okay, I mean, there's a chance here. There's a chance here. They only need to take one. Although, oh, that's such a hard spot to be in. Moisty's at 100%. He gets caught by the jab from Wonder Woman. He makes it back to safety, but he gets launched over to the left into the way of FPZ. FPZ aware of it. Hits him with the forward air, takes him off the top. No content.
No content.
It's an FPZ jungle victory.
30% of the time, I'm right 100% of the time, but sadly, it's the other 70% of the time where I am completely wrong. What a take from Jungle and FPZ, and Moisey and Misty just getting close in that round 3, but could not close out round 4. And it was just all that pressure from Jungle and FPZ, able to, Jungle especially, just tackling Misty and forcing that side air and forcing them off to the side. But now Jungle and FPZ will be taking that $1,200 prize pool for themselves, sponsored by Hot Pocket. So they're going to be feeling nice and warm with that money in their pocket.
I always love that Frost Esports is sponsored with Hot Pockets, because you got the hot, the cold, you know, you got the one and the two.
The lead up to that reveal of sponsorship is always one of my favorite bits that we did for when we were doing Rocket League tournaments. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, once again, congratulations to the winners of the tournament, Jungle and FPZ. Give them a round warm applause. Oh, warm round of applause. I couldn't think of the word. Woo. Congrats to them. Congratulations to Misty and Moises. They're still walking out of here with a bag. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, 1,200 is a bag. $600 for second. Hey man, I'm not complaining if I'm them. Everyone else in the top 8, congrats as well for the placement. Shira and Poro for rounding out the top 3. Those are our top 3 placements of the tournament. That's the big old pedestal. Fauzi Moi, the bronze of bronzes, sitting next to the pedestal at 4th. Lust and Camilla getting 5th. Greeted and Oog also joining them at 5th place. Swerve and Wavy at 7th. And also Red Joey and Fulsify also at 7th.
Overall, a really wonderful tournament run together. And Miraman, I want to go ahead and thank you as well for being a part of this, for bringing your community over, and for working with Frost Esports the entire time, because this MultiVersus tournament is also our very first broadcast in Frost Esports that we've been able to put on such a fun show. So thank you so much for joining us and for being able to provide so much insight and understanding about the game itself. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Nick NCS, who was a broadcaster for both days, being able to help us out throughout the long run, and Tengoku, who was our event admin the entire time. Well, with that, Miraman, thank you so much for joining us, folks. We are going to go ahead and close out for the evening. So thank you guys so much for joining us here on Frost Esports for the Pockets League Frostborn Legends, sponsored by Hot Pockets. Make sure to stay warm, stay fresh, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.